Synchronize.
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 Yo, mic check. Can you guys hear me all right? Yo, Rain, how's the audio going? Oh, I don't know if we can hear you. I don't know if we can hear your audio. Let me see. Hello, mic check. Let me check Discord. output. Yo, can you hear me? Alright, I don't know if you guys can hear. Yo, can you hear Alright, anyways, we'll start and then we'll see if we'll do another mic check. Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Sing Zone podcast. This is your host, ZoneFanfic. Joining us today, we have a special guest, Kamui. What's going on, man? I don't even think it's picking up your audio. Oh, you might have to hit him with that again. Let me see. To be honest with you, it's being retarded right now. Let me check. Give it another go.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Kamui dimension.
All right.
I haven't been using that in my last few videos. I've just been skipping it. See how it does.
No, I think you're good. I think you're solid. I think we definitely hear you now. So, yo, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today, Kamui. Yeah, I think we're good on the audio now. That was a lot quicker than last time. Nah,
You have to spend like an hour last time.
Pretty much, yeah. Trying to figure out like, oh, okay,
is it because of Discord? Or is it just like in general?
No, it's the way I just have my OBS set up. It's I haven't really made this a pattern, like a consistent routine. So every time I hop in, I have to refigure it out.
Oh. Well, you're better off than me. I haven't even downloaded OBS. Actually, I think I might have downloaded it, but I've never opened it. So I don't know how to do it.
I'm actually looking into other editing softwares, just so I know, like, going forward. But
yeah, I literally use iMovie. I use like the worst editing software, but I mean, I like the way it looks though.
iMovie. I don't think I've heard of that one. Oh yeah, no, I definitely heard of that one. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's just the default Mac book. Like, I literally, it's free. I just use that.
Hey, it's solid. It's solid. I've seen it. I've used it before.
Like, I mean, I wish you could do more with it, but like, even like if you get Final Cut Pro, like I have the free trial, and I know how to like. I found a video on how you can like extend the free trial, but I just don't like the way it looks as much. And I feel like it would take me longer than I already spend on videos if I use something else. I tried using Filmora one time, and I was like, I don't know, I can't use this. If it doesn't look exactly like iMovie, I can't do it.
Well,
I feel like everybody expects me to like be so good at editing softwares because of how I do my videos. But I'm like, no, dude, I don't know how to do anything.
No,
I know how to use iMovie things, and that's it.
We know you're an instant pro. Like, it's a given at this point. That's you're just you are the editing pro. We come to you for the mass knowledge that you hold, including Boruto topic knowledge.
Yes, yeah. If you want to know how to make random cuts in your videos, just goofy memes, I'll give it a try. But
yeah, I get it. I'm the same way when it comes to a lot of that. Well, today, it's kind of a little later than I would typically do things.
yeah,
but
sorry. No, I mean I didn't get home until like I don't even know what time. Maybe, I mean, let's see, 11:30, and then I had dinner, and then I was on the phone with my brother for a little bit. But yeah, sorry. I was just like, honestly, like I work nights right now because I wait tables at a restaurant. So it's like that's just kind of my work schedule.
Oh no, you're good, man. I worked third shift last night. I was terrible. I woke up. What was it last night? I don't even know. It's 'cause my days are like Groundhog Day days right now. Every day is the same day. But yeah, I first off, like how we've seen I've seen a few of your videos. You know, first and foremost, I do like what you've been pushing out as of recent, especially.
Oh,
Um,
the Amado stuff.
yeah, a lot of the motto stuff, just covering the basis and stuff. Uh, yo, what's going on, Rain? What's going on, Lacream? Hey, appreciate the audio check, Rain. By the way. No, but yeah, it's definitely interesting. A lot of stuff that you've been covering. What are
I think it'd be cool. Like, I mean, I hope some of that stuff at least gets implemented. I definitely think there's something to it, to an extent at least. But I think Kawaki and Amado are the characters they're going hardest on in the story, so that's why my hopes are high for them. You can tell they're putting more into them than they are like Delta or something.
Let me ask you something, right? Do you think Kawaki is a motto
I mean,
or motto is
I won't
Kawaki?
rule it out. I won't rule it out 100% that they don't do the time travel. I'd much rather it be Amado's his grandfather. Like that's what I'd rather have.
Motto's his grandfather. Okay, they do look.
I
Their
think that's better.
designs. It's
Hmm?
nothing. It's very rare that things are just by coincidence. You know. Um,
Well, yeah, and that's the
as
thing.
which you.
Like they have the, I'm like, they have the same haircut, the same eye design. I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like I think there's something to it.
It's crazy, right? Like I had to give this some thought myself, and it's people have been bringing it up more and more. Like, is Amado Kawaki is from the future, or
Yeah, that's like the
or from the
I'd call it the
past?
OG theory. Like the OG theory was the time travel one. Like that. I mean, I thought of that before I thought the grandfather one. So like, I won't say it's impossible. It's just the only thing about time travel is you have to deal with all the either the alternate timeline or the changed timeline shit. You just have to deal with all that. And I just don't know if they want to put it in the story. It's one thing to do like a side arc like they did with the anime, where it didn't really do anything, as far as we know. Maybe Arashiki just changed the timeline. But as far as we know, it didn't really do anything to the story. But if they make it a main plot point, which that is a huge plot point, they have to just deal with all the, unless they make it super simple and they just say, "Oh, he just went back in time." That's all there is to it.
Well, here's the thing, right? You would think things like chakra, right? The understanding of genjutsu and Ōtsutsukis would all be simple concepts, right? Since they've been quote explained, right? But I don't know, like even those things people have difficulty understanding. So why not change up the overall premise and storyline of Boruto, right? Um, at the moment, like, cause you don't want to make it a straight copy and paste of Naruto. Uh,
Yeah, no.
so some things that I've seen that ATG was going on, man. Some things that I've seen that I think that could change Boruto from becoming basically a copy and paste. It's already sort of different, right? In obvious ways. Like it didn't start off the same. It's not getting the same hype as Naruto.
There's a lot of parallels, but the story itself is different in ways. Like it's like half the same, half different, you could say, or maybe more like 25% different, 75 the same, but you get the point. Like
do,
there's definitely clear differences.
do you see do you think like Boruto's possibly like a part 2 of Naruto, or think it's its own story?
No,
Think they'll
I see it as a continuation of Naruto 100%.
continuation? Okay.
I don't view it as being like like I'm gonna make an example. I know it was kind of a gag thing, but like the Rock Lee and his Ninja Pals thing, that's like a complete spin-off. It's like they took a character in it and they made a funny show out of it. I don't see that. I see this as a sequel, like it's a continuation, 100%.
Yeah, and that's what I love, right? Because I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. I'd rather be that way.
they could still, they basically have all the things that were done in Naruto. They could apply that. Like they've already did that with Al, right? They had him come back, which was interesting, right? They had all these. They're still utilizing characters within Naruto. They did say in the beginning that my father's here. At least I believe Boruto said this. My father's here, but this is still my story.
Yeah, he basically says like, and this is one of those things where I'm like, honestly, this does lead hints about the end of part one, but he basically said, this is my story, except for like I can't help that my dad's involved in my story, but this is his story except for the
Basically.
first part. In the first part he's heavily involved, and then it's his story. So to me that just sounds like part one Naruto's involved, part two he's not really.
Yeah. How do you? Okay, so what do you foresee as far as like how do you think they'll off Naruto and the rest of the cast?
Well, I don't think Naruto's gonna die. At least not yet. I don't think so. I think the Kawaki thing might be literal. He just sent Naruto, like he sent him to the grocery store, like he just sent him somewhere. I don't think he meant to hell or heaven. Sorry, heaven. Naruto's not going to hell.
He's
But
going to hell.
yeah, Naruto's going to hell for not fixing the Rain Village. But no, I think he right now I lean towards him just literally sending him somewhere because he's obsessed with Naruto. So I think that's how he gets off. And then like I think they're gonna parallel Naruto and Sasuke probably. I think like they literally look Jiraiya and Orochimaru. Orochimaru died. Guess who dies in like the next arc? Basically, Jiraiya. Like they're gonna parallel them. So if Naruto's gone, Sasuke's gonna be gone. Whether that means he dies or gets sent away, like they're both gonna get removed around the same time, is what I'm guessing. Which is
Right.
probably gonna be the end of part one, unless Boruto meant that in the middle of part two is actually like let's just say it's called Boruto Shippuden. He meant in the middle of Boruto Shippuden that Naruto's gone, but that just the way he says like the beginning, like the first part, I think it's just gonna translate to literally part one of Boruto. So I think the end of part one, that's when they get removed.
That's interesting. Okay. No, that's definitely what I'd have to agree with that too. As far as like the parallels, because they did the same with thing with Naruto and Sasuke, Orochimaru, Jiraiya. Who else? Who
Yeah,
else we
they
got?
literally Kishimoto and Kodachi was keeping it going. They love the parallels. It's not going away. Naruto and Sasuke paralleled each other the entire series, including in Boruto. They're not going to stop. Like
Do you think they're
they
still paralleled right now, or do you
yeah,
think?
they literally did it with their nerfs. They got nerfed one chapter after another.
Okay. Oh yeah, because I'm
Like
so.
they're gonna keep that stuff going. Like obviously they don't get the exact same thing that happens to them. Like Sasuke lost to Rinnegan, but Naruto lost Kurama. But like if something good happens to Naruto, something good happens to Sasuke. If something bad happens to Naruto, something bad happens to Sasuke. That's just what they do. They want them to be the same in pretty much every way, minus small things. But
For some reason, there's still debate that Sasuke is stronger than Naruto or Naruto stronger than Sasuke. It's kind of weird. It's weird in my opinion. I don't know. I don't get it.
I mean like I get like the concept of like the versus battle, like oh who would actually win, and like yeah you can definitely like do that and say that one probably barely beats the other, but like if you're gonna assign them numbers, one might be a 49 and the other one a 51. Like that's as far apart as they are. They're basically even. They're gonna stay that way.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Fair point. So
And like, if you were gonna say like, oh, who's actually stronger right now if you had to pick? Well, if they fought to the death, Naruto would probably win because that's literally what Sasuke wants to happen if they ever fight to the death. And that's just what it's Naruto is like kind of more the main character. So he'd probably win. He'd just get one extra punch in. But like
that's
they basically be even. Like
most likely. Most likely, he's got that plot armor.
Yeah, exactly. Like Naruto's gonna have the plot armor to win. Like Sasuke will not kill Naruto in any battle. Naruto will not kill Sasuke either. He'll stop short. So if they ever fight, like again, like Sasuke goes mad, that's just what's gonna happen. They're gonna have a blast where they're gonna lose their other arm and have no arms. And Sasuke gonna say, "You won again, Naruto."
Oh
That's what would happen.
no.
Like they would tie and both lose their arms, and Sasuke would say, "All right, I give up. You win again."
That's a good
That's how I
point.
see it going down.
That's fair. That's fair. That's definitely fair. So what? Okay, since we have you here, what are your predictions for Boruto Chapter 75?
Um, no, it's actually funny because somebody left a comment on one of either this video or the last one that actually kind of got me thinking, maybe not. So I think it's gonna be one or the other here. Either Amado gives some information; it's mostly dialogue again. If they go that route, all right. There's basically a mini option with the all right. There's two main options. Amado talks or gets interrupted. If Amado talks, I think they're going to do one or the other. He's either going to talk about his plans with Kawaki, or he'll talk about Eida and Daemon. I
Interesting.
think either are pretty on the table. I don't think they're going to do both in one chapter. Essentially, like they're going to pick one or the other. So I think both are pretty good chance. If I had to pick, I'm going to pick he talks about Eida and Daemon because I think people want to know Amado's plan more than they care about Eida and Daemon information. And so I think they'll hold off on the Amado's plan. In worst case, he'll like delay it. He'll be like, "Oh, I'll tell you after. I got to talk about Eida and Daemon first." So I lean towards him talking about them first, whether it's so how he made them, where their abilities come from, whatever it is he wants to tell them about it. I think you talk about them, or alternatively, he gets interrupted and he doesn't really tell a ton of info. Which actually, that could There's actually the third option is that it's the mixture of both. He talks about Eida and Daemon, but then he gets interrupted before he gets to his plan with Kawaki. I think that would be cool.
Okay.
I
So
don't actually know which I pick is the most likely. Probably if I had to pick one, he talks about Eida and Daemon for a bit. But as far as how would we get interrupted, the two options, one of them's the one that somebody commented and said, "Well, what if Momoshiki just randomly starts going ham and messes shit up?" I thought I was like, honestly, that's kind of interesting. Like if he starts going, or Kawaki like notices Momoshiki and then he starts getting mad, and the whole thing gets interrupted because of that. I think that'd be kind of cool. The other way would be if Code invaded. I don't think they should do that since Damon's there, but that's still an option.
I don't know. I feel
But
like that would be
I'm
kind of. I just feel like that would be kind of random if Momoshiki just went rampage out of nowhere,
it would 100% be random. It would
right?
be so random.
Oh,
Nobody would be expecting it. But that's
oh,
also what kind of works about it. Like, it's the fact that it'd be so random that all the characters wouldn't expect it. But it would
also,
be. There's no build up to it, but it's an interesting one. I don't lean towards it, but it's interesting. I
hmm.
think for the next chapter in particular, the very least, we're going to get something about Aiden and Damon. Is my main thing. I think will happen.
I feel like a lot of the Ada and Damon at least their knowledge may it may not be known to us yet. I don't feel like that'll be shared yet for some reason.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is I feel like, and this is the only reason I kind of like. I'm kind of like, I kind of like the idea of it getting interrupted because honestly, I agree. I almost feel like it's too soon to fully give away either one. So, like, if Amado spills the tea on his entire plan with Kawaki, that completely removes the mystery. And I feel like that's not a good thing for them to do. I think they should give us a little bit, but not too much. And so, but the same thing is for Aiden Damon. If they want to reveal that either they're Ōtsutsuki, they have karma seals, or they were modeled after Ōtsutsuki, and they're artificial beings like Kashin Koji, but instead the DNA came from the two Ōtsutsuki stone tablet people. You know, whatever it is that they want to do with it.
I feel like that
Like,
would
I
be
feel
more
like it's too
likely.
soon to give it all the way. They can give us a hint towards it, which they've already done, but I don't feel like they can give it all away. And I think the same's true for Amado's plan. That's the only problem. But next chapter he's supposed to start talking. So unless he caps his way through the entire thing, which he
So
probably will, but
I'm thinking like maybe. So I don't. As far as like the possibility for Ada and Damon to for Amado to say anything about Ada and Damon, I don't think he'll do that specifically because um Ada can basically see everything that's going on, right?
well, yeah, I
Um,
mean they're literally on a microphone to Team Seven. They're all listening to it,
and they're and that
so
too.
she doesn't need to use her Senri gun. She can just hear it.
See, so that kind of I don't know. So that's where like I'm at as far
Yeah,
as
it's
like
tricky. It's tricky to say what he'll talk about. He promised to talk about, the Kawaki stuff to Ada. I think it'd be hilarious if he gets away with not talking about it. But so, like, you could argue that that's what we'll start with, but the last chapter didn't give us any grounds. The only thing I can say is that Shikamaru said, we have Ada and Damon, we don't know anything about them, but we have Amado here. Start talking Amado, basically. That's how the chapter ended. And so I would say, well, based on that, they might be Shikamaru and Naruto might be like, hey, I want to hear about them first. That's what they're thinking about. Granted, they want to know about the Kawaki thing too, but they specifically mentioned Ada and Damon first. This is partly why I'm like, well, maybe that's what he'll start with. But I don't know what he'll give away. Basic shit about their abilities.
so that's the thing about cliffhangers. Like they're really weird, especially like in Boruto. I'd almost like doubt the event even happening just because specifically just because of the sole fact that it was a cliffhanger. But I do agree with you when you say that that Amado may get interrupted. I think if anything he'll probably say he'll probably speak more about himself or his ambitions or give some type of stoic obscurity speech or something like that.
Well, I was wondering if he would do something similar to what he did with Sumire, where he'll basically like admit, like, yeah, dude, I put this karma seal on Kawaki. It's because I got some shit I want to do, but it's a personal matter. I want to talk to Kawaki about it. And he won't tell him. Like, I was wondering if he'll just do that again.
That would be interesting, but then they might want to lock him up. Like
Yeah,
why
they would
he
be
wouldn't
like,
want to
well,
put himself in
no,
a
you won't
position.
tell us. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't really know like how. Other than the interruption route, I don't really know how they can get away with keeping the mystery behind Amado or Aiden Damon, but also get out of the fact that they're literally interrogating Amado right now. Like they have to either just give away something to us now, or Code or Momoshiki need to like interrupt immediately
I definitely think
because
Code
there's
may
no
be
in
coming
between.
in.
Like I don't know how else they can do it.
I feel like Code would almost have to come in at the moment. Either that or we'll get more dialogue, more
Like they're definitely gonna
more
fluff it up. I imagine Amado's gonna probably spend like a whole page asking to smoke, and they're literally gonna do the first page is gonna be like, no, you can't smoke. He's like, oh come on, let me smoke. And then like that's gonna be page one, and then like he's gonna start telling the story. He's gonna recap something that we already know for
like
a solid like 3 pages, and then he'll drop like one bombshell. Shikamaru will get mad. And he'll be like, slow down, slow down. There's a certain order to these things. Like, and then by the end of the chapter, you learn like 2 things. Honestly, that's actually probably the most realistic prediction.
yeah, the pacing is definitely like that's one of the things that I don't really like in Boruto. You've seen I'm assuming you've seen Naruto, right? You watched Naruto, so
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry,
I've seen the
dumb
Naruto
question,
anime
but
like 10 times.
okay, all
Yeah.
right, yeah, yeah, it's the pacing is definitely it being a monthly series does have some some something to do
Yeah,
with that,
honestly, the monthly series it was a horrible idea. Like I'm gonna do a video on this at some point on my channel, like talking about it, because there's pros and like it's not all Kodachi or Kishimoto's fault. It's really a combination of like you have the writer Ikimoto in the monthly release. The monthly release is ass. There's no way around it because the page count is just not good enough, especially with Ikimoto as the artist. He doesn't draw enough pages.
Exactly.
So by default, having Ikimoto on a monthly release, you are going to lose one way or another. You either have Kodachi, who just says, all right, the manga is going to be a snapshot. I am going to skip over a shitload of things so that way the story feels interesting. But like you're never going to want to reread the manga. Like it's good for ongoing. You will never reread it. You'll only watch the anime. The anime is like the superior. That's basically
For sure.
Kodachi's approach. Kishimoto's approach, and I had a whole thing written out comparing Datara and Sasori's philosophy of art. It literally applies to this. Kodachi is like Datara. He wants in the moment to be cool. Kishimoto wants it to be eternal beauty. He wants the manga to be like you can reread it and like it. That's why he's slowing it down. Like he's trying to make it so that the manga's fully fleshed out.
I see what you're
So that, like,
saying.
it stands on its own. The problem is that it comes out monthly, and so it's like
No, that's
while it's going on, it's like not as hype. And that's where, like, honestly, like Boruto has half the pages that it should per month.
for
Because the
sure.
Sasuke Retsuden, Naruto manga, they had basically twice as much pages per month. If they just had a monthly Boruto chapter every other week, nobody would be complaining. I don't think people would be complaining about Kishimoto's writing anymore.
No, it's crazy to me how like just a Sasuke manga is double the pages that a Boruto manga would be, you know, and they release
Literally, like it dropped to 45, I think, for the second chapter, and I thought it was gonna drop closer to like. I think eventually, I said it might drop to like 34ish, 35, which would be
don't say
totally
that.
normal. That would be like totally normal, but it's still at 45. That's actually it's actually keeping up with the page count of the Boruto manga. That one went from 59 to 47 and then down to 40. This one went from like 53 to 45, and so like it might drop to only like 38. Like it might be like a monthly Boruto every other week, literally.
What I was talking about before, I think I discussed this with some guys on the Discord, is the fact that what they should do, or they should have did, was combine the Boruto and the Sasuke manga and just made it into the Boruto manga, made it a weekly manga. Like, that just makes sense to me.
Like as in like what sense? Like just intertwine it into like the
Yeah, just merge it into the Boruto manga, make it Boruto manga material, and then of course with
yeah.
the art is
Yeah, and have the artists basically do those chapters or something like ongoing.
something like that.
If they were to, the only issue would be you couldn't really have Sasuke involved in the Boruto manga for the entirety of the Sasuke Retsuden, though. That'd be the only issue. He'd have to just be because that'd be his mission essentially.
Well, if Boruto is a huge part of Sasuke is a huge part of Boruto's life, then that's something that we should know as Boruto readers. I think, like,
I mean, honestly, they should have at least mentioned the arc. But I mean, granted, it's not like a manga written arc. I love the story so honestly. Like I kind of like it. I don't want to say I like it more than the current Boruto manga, but like there's certain things I like better about it. Like I like the art in it a lot, dude. I want that. I would love if that artist in the Mirai novel artist like just were Ikimoto's assistant, and it just helped him make more pages. They have
yeah,
the talent for it, dude. Like the reason why Ikimoto is so much trouble is because he only has like 2 assistants when Kishimoto had like 30 or whatever. Like
that's a good
because
point.
like I think I heard, I don't know if it's true, that he just like Ikimoto just like wants to do a lot of the stuff. That's why he doesn't have assistants. But I don't know if that's true. But if it is, like, oh come on, bro. Like
Question: how do you feel about like the whole dynamic in the household with Eida Daemon and Kawaki? How do you think that'll play out in the future and for the village?
um I think it depends on if I mean, if they do if they play it out long term, that's a different question. All right, I'll start with the bad answer. Essentially, is that it never really gets to that point. If Momoshiki causes shit or Code invades, they go that route. I think they'll just kind of that'll be the end of it. They'll probably just quickly move through part one and have something happen. But if they don't do that, um, that's such a good question because I feel like for a while Kawaki is gonna brush off Ada. He's gonna think she's stupid and weird, but in the long run, she might grow on him. I don't know. And then if that happens, then it's interesting because he might start siding with her over. I know it would be really interesting actually is if Kawaki started to like Ada and then they
Yes.
actually start dating, and then he starts to side with her on things over Naruto on things, and that's how he slowly drifts away from Naruto. Not that he hates Naruto, but he starts to care more about her than him. That would be hella interesting.
So
That would not happen quickly. That would take a long time, I think, because the way Kawaki feels about Naruto, that's not happening overnight. But that would be interesting to watch happen.
So I think with Ada's ability to kind of observe, I think that kind of gives her the ability to be more of like an opportunist, right? And if this is the
Yeah.
case,
She's always ready for something because she knows she's able to gather so much intel.
exactly. So if this is the case, what do you? I think she may wait for the time to where discourse's intention is really high in the village, right? And Kawaki may start to see um some of the things that he really does not like. Maybe Ada points it out or whatever, and
Ooh, I like that. I like that idea. I like that idea.
you know,
And
just from
he
afar, like,
starts
hey,
pointing
Kawaki, look
out
at this.
problems with the village or something. Like she just starts doing something to kind of get Kawaki on her side, like pointing
Exactly.
out things. I like the idea. I like the idea. I like whether or not it'll happen. I have no idea, but I like the idea.
I mean
That would
that
be cool. That's like the type of stuff that's like because I think Ada is a manipulator. Whether or not she has evil intentions, that's a different story. But she's very manipulative, and so that is up her alley to do that. It's just like how Amado kept pointing out things about Kawaki and how he's not strong enough, and how he's grieving over the karma seal. It's the same concept. It's like they're trying to win Kawaki over to them, essentially. That I like the idea. I like the idea of her almost turning him against the village.
that's kind of how I see it at the moment. I mean, at the moment, she's pretty much in the position of power. She's got her and Damon. You know, and at the moment, even if Code shows up, I don't see them winning against Code. Unless Code has something up his sleeve that he's hiding. I mean, essentially,
that's why I don't really want Ko to invade anymore because I'm like, unless the Tento's army is just that OP, like just negates Damon, like which would feel weird. I don't think that's why I don't know if he can invade anymore. Like he might use them for spying because he didn't say the Tentails things were smaller and more powerful. He said like smaller and more useful. So like, I feel like he wants to use them. And then the panel in that chapter was him like looking through their eyes with his claw mark.
oh yeah,
So I almost see them as like spying tools or like intel gathering. And so I'd like to see that being used. Like maybe he spies on what's going on in the village, but he doesn't actually attack, kind of thing.
I think if he
I'd like to
does,
see that static code.
I don't know. I feel like if he does show up, he will want to fight.
Yeah,
But for the
but
if he does show up though, I don't think he'll. I think he'll come with a plan. And if he does not come with a plan, I don't think he'll necessarily lose. As far or die. Excuse me. I don't think he'll die. Which a lot of people, I guess, have been predicting that he may, like, if he shows up to the village, he'll die, and that'll conclude his character for some reason. But I think he still has a lot more.
That's horrible, dude. Yeah, no, please. Like, if that happens, I'd be like, "What the hell is this?"
I might have to
I'd be
drop
like,
the
"What are
series
we
now.
doing?" Like, we just blew away everything. I feel like Code has to get a dub on Kawaki. Like, because that would do so much for Kawaki. So I'm like, I don't like this idea. If I'm just losing again.
Oh yes, I've actually I made some videos in the past about how um Eida and Daemon, of course, we see that they have dojutsu, right? How
Yeah.
their dojutsus and their overall abilities may be symbolic of um solar eclipses, right?
Yeah. So they have the moon. Yeah. So are you gonna get at like the whole code's eyes change thing?
Sort
Looking
of.
like
I've included
yeah,
code
because
in that as well, but I was kind of getting along the lines of we know that in certain events, if you go back to Boruto and Naruto, when you see the moon changes colors, if it's red, if it's Tsukiyomi, those are pivotal moments, right? And this is when
yeah.
I actually went back and I dove deep into this, right? Um, and I was like, all right, well, let's look at the different type of eclipses, right? Apogee, perigee, right? And the phases of the solar eclipses, right? Um, there is a phase of the moon where it's completely dark, right? Where if you've seen a solar eclipse, and it's just completely dark, you don't see anything. Um, that's essentially what I think is it's basically foreshadowing. I think the end, uh, of whether that's the cycle of hatred or Boruto or uh, or the Shinobi world, or the end, the final villain, right? All of the above, really. Um, I think those are these Aiden and Damon may be symbolizing that future. Uh, and it's I kind of went off the moon. I started to look into this really because of their abilities, right? Damon reflects, and Ada attracts, right? Which is
Yeah. That's it. Oh, I didn't even think about that aspect. Yeah, I looked at different aspects of their eyes and abilities, but I didn't even think about that's the most obvious one, actually.
it's obvious, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
just
most obvious one. That's the only one I didn't think about.
no, it's that's I kind of just looked into that surface level, right? Because Chakra, even, well, we don't really know too much about their abilities. As far as what source they use. Are they using Chakra, right? Because Kawaki didn't know ninjutsu when he showed up to the village,
Yeah,
right?
whether it's a ninja tech type thing or
Exact. Is it ninja
the
tech,
doge.
or is it some type of um chakra, or dojutsu from? I guess you could probably say the Ōtsutsuki. Um,
Well, it's definitely linked to their dojutsu, like their little eyeballs. The weird thing about it is what kind of freaking ninja tech could Amado do to like reflect, like attacks like that? Like, what is it? Like some magnet that's like the opposite of a magnet on attack? Like, what would we do? Like, I don't even know what the ninja tech would be for some of those things.
well, just to kind of give you, I guess, or remind you of like the gravity of ninja tech, right? How it's had the abilities to assist code in dividing the ten tails on some
Yeah,
Sage of
some
Six Paths
ridiculous.
stuff, Uh,
Yeah, I like it's like OP as shit, but it's like weird to think about like what would the ninja like for example like obviously Amado's ninja tech's crazy powerful. That's not what I'm saying is like all right, so Kawaki's ninja tech arm thing. It's like some weird earthy looking thing. You know, Delta has like her legs and like I beam cyborg type things. But like what would the Boro has that core for regen and like those weird vents on his head for virus. But I'm just like wondering like what the tool inside Aiden David would be. That's the big. I'm like, what would the thing be?
I think
Nanobots, but
this is probably something Amato could talk about,
yeah,
Uh,
stuff like that. And like, I'd be fine. That's what I'm saying. Like when I say like talking about Aiden Damon, it doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, the Ōtsutsuki reveal. He could just talk about like something,
if he did
how he
say
made
that,
his ability. Yeah, he kind of like low key said that though last chapter, but
Yeah. I mean, low key is a good
it,
word to say that because I
like
don't,
he
I don't
didn't
know.
directly say it, but he also like threw them into the bunch. Like he was like, "Yeah, all Ōtsutsuki can do it." Like it was like, so are you saying like they're like he's like Eida can fly, and he's like, "Oh, it's not weird. Ōtsutsuki can do it." I was like, "Are you trying to imply that they are or not?" Like,
You know, and the weird thing is, we saw those two Ōtsutsuki. I want to say, what was it, chapter like 2035 or something?
with the panels
Was it
destroyed.
40 something, 45? Yeah, it was
Um,
just,
the panel destroyed thing is chapter 35 or 36.
no, it
I
was
think.
like a flashback. It was like a flashback. I forget who it was from, but it was like two mystery Ōtsutsuki. Called him.
Like where we saw their faces.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Amado has the flashback with the Ōtsutsuki, but there was one with Momoshiki and Kaguya, and then one with Kaguya and Ishiki. That's in chapter 45, I think. Yeah, let me just look up and see if this is what you mean.
Possible.
Because there's like one where he talks about them being like parasites, and then there's a picture of Momoshiki and Kaguya, if that's what you mean.
Did he call them parasites? That I don't know. I kind of skimmed over everything. No,
Yeah, like this. Here, let's go chapter 45.
that is
Because he says like what Ōtsutsuki are, and he's like, essentially they're alien parasites, and as Kagi and Momoshiki and Kinshiki on the panel here. This is in chapter 45. If that's what you were talking about.
possibly. I could be I could be completely off right now.
Honestly, you might be thinking about like the thing that people have thumbnails of. I've seen like the same thumbnail a million times with like the mystery Ōtsutsuki. It's like the same ones that people always use. I'm almost wondering if that's like
uh
what you're thinking of.
no, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I digress. I digress.
I know there's the panels, the destroyed panels, but
Yeah, but I mean, like realistically, I think I think scientific tech, I think is gonna make its way into it's gonna be the way that Boruto makes its difference uh
from Naruto,
from
absolutely,
Naruto, right? It makes
yeah.
it takes it the series another direction.
Yeah, I mean, like you could definitely say that like the seeds were planted in Naruto with like Orochimaru and stuff, but like it's not to the same extent. It's not the same vibe with it.
Well, I've already I've stated, I think in a previous video that Amado pretty much parallels Orochimaru. He's the
Yeah,
Boruto Orochimaru.
100%. So many ways. Like,
But instead of using chakra, he uses technology. And we have
yeah,
all these new like scientists, right? Is a new dynamic in the village, right? Instead of using, you know, shinobis being more prevalent, it's scientists that are making a difference in the shinobi world. And it's crazy because um these are the main villains, right? Kara, the 99% of Kara, or pretty much all of Kara is um they're all cyborgs, right?
yeah.
S-
Literally everybody except for arguably G-Ken.
yeah. Yeah.
He's the only one who, as far as we don't know if he had any modifications, but like everybody else is just stated they're cyborgs. They all look like they had something going on.
I think I was talking to a few people about how Amado may I mean, he clearly has some technological enhancements already, right?
Oh yeah,
But
Amado definitely has things because I still think Amado is capping like acting like he can't fight because he literally like just no diffed Team Shikadai with this like sound thing in his sleeve. And then like in the anime, like at one point when these people were threatening him, he like popped it out of his like pant leg before Boruto showed up. Like he was about to just no diff them with that. Like I think that thing is OP. and he's just like pretending it's not.
That's crazy, right? Like how he walked in there so casually, as if he already kind of knew like it would work. I mean,
Yeah, like
he
he
did,
knew he
but
was gonna beat them.
yeah, I mean, okay. So let me ask you this: what do you think the future or post time skip will look like?
Like at the beginning, post time skip, or like later.
Maybe a few chapters in, or a few,
Um,
yeah, a few chapters in.
in like what senses? Just like
The
who's in the
Shinobi,
village, who's not.
the Shinobi world, the village, Boruto, Kawaki. What do you think the dynamics in the world will look like?
There's two main as. Alright, so like I don't think like the world's gonna be like ruined or anything. But it depends on really how they end part one, because I could totally see Kawaki leaving the village at the end of part one, paralleling Sasuke. That's like his thing where he's done with Konoha at least. Um, and then in that case, the like the loose ends I don't really have a good answer for is Eida Daemon and Amado. I imagine in code, I imagine they would all be gone from the village. If Kawaki leaves, I don't think Amado will stick around. He's gonna want to follow. Ada's gonna want to follow, and Code's gonna want to follow. So if that's the case, I don't know if there'll be alliances or I could see an alliance between Kawaki, Amado, and Eida, like kind of like Sasuke going to Orochimaru kind of thing,
Okay.
and then Code being on his own, and then you have the village, but the village is kind of in a tricky spot because if if we want to pool what everything we've been told about and just make it make sense, Ikimoto said a long ass time ago that Kakashi was going to have a huge role. We haven't seen one panel of this dude in manga. So the only thing I can think of is that he becomes Hokage again. Okay? So if Boruto was right about Naruto not being involved in a story anymore and he's gone, well, that's why Kakashi might be involved. So that's a possibility. Naruto's gone. Sasuke might be dead, so Boruto lost his everything. The
Okay.
village isn't exactly ready to deal with Code and everybody. But, Boruto, Mitsuki, and Sarada, they're going to become OP to make up for it.
So I think it's I'm sorry, quick.
That'd be an interesting way to set things up. I mean, otherwise you have to just like take everything we've heard with a grain of salt. Like, if you don't think Boruto meant Naruto's gone at the end of part one, okay, never mind that. If you think Ikimoto was capping about Kakashi, then never mind that. But if you want to take those for what they said, then that's the only thing I can think of there. And then the whole Momoshiki thing. I know some people I've heard say that they don't think that happens in part one, but I think it has to happen in part one because Momoshiki went from saying it's a long ways away to like a few chapters later being like, dude, it's coming up soon, baby. So I think it's coming up soon. Like,
he
it
was,
wasn't
yeah,
that much time passed that before he changed his mind. So I
pretty
don't think that's
much.
happening 3 years from now. I think that's got to happen near the end of part one. It's going to be like the Sasuke retrieval arc type deal where it's like a big bang of an ending.
Interesting.
And so,
So you don't think Sasuke
yeah.
will die?
Oh no, I lean towards him dying right now.
Okay.
I think that's. I mean, if I had to pick one thing for what Momoshiki meant about Boruto losing everything, I think it's the death of Sasuke, but or the combination of the death of Sasuke and his dad being sent away. Like the two guys he looks up to most being gone. That could be his everything. That's what I lean towards. If I can pick one thing, I don't think they're going to kill off Himawari or Hinata, considering they're barely in the story. I don't think that would hit hard enough for any readers, especially if they didn't read all of Naruto first. So I think it's a terrible idea in that case. So I feel like it has to be about Naruto and Sasuke. The
That's
moral of the
interesting.
story is, I think Sasuke. There's a chance he dies. I'd like to see him live, but like they're definitely hinting in the direction that he's gonna die.
Yeah, they foreshadowed it a lot. I mean, at least from what I've seen.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, they've given us a lot of different signs. Like, I haven't made this video yet, but I was literally gonna do like a 10 signs Sasuke's gonna die video because there's enough. Like, there's a bunch of them.
Yes, there is. There is.
And I think it was chapter 69 that one in particular, I think was the one where I was like, dude, they're just hinting at this.
69. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They've definitely been chapter 69. That's when they get
69, and then there was the one I think it's 48 when Sasuke's like, I'm willing to die for the Leaf Village. Like, and then 69 he says something again similar to that. And then there's just a million other things. Then like Boruto's outfit is a red flag in a time skip scene. Really is all of Sasuke's clothes.
there's a lot out there. There is a lot. So okay. I saw this panel today, right? It for some reason, oh, not really. It was two, right? There was the one, I don't know if you recall in Naruto where, Obito basically he acquires all the other Jinchuriki, right? In Edo form, and he gives them the Rinnegan, right? And we don't know exactly the purpose of him doing that. We just know that he gathers them, and he says he pulls out the tin tails. From what I recall, I'm like vaguely remembering this right now.
Yeah, I'm literally trying to find it right now, like the chapter around when all this happens.
And there's literally a panel with him jumping with the Jinchuriki, getting ready to head to the battlefield, right?
Yeah, I remember the panel. I'm trying to find it right now.
So I say that
Go on.
I say that to say, right? We don't find out the purpose of him doing this until later on, right? Chapters later, episodes later, or whatever, right? But then let me bring you over to Boruto, right? To give you another parallel. Code, right? We see that he splits up the tin tails, and he makes clones out of these, and he gives them his DNA. But for what purpose? You know,
Yeah, like we're not gonna find out. I honestly, like, if you're going in the same direction as what I've been thinking, I don't think we're gonna know for a little bit. I think they're gonna hold off.
So I'm thinking right. I'm thinking that what he may do with the clones is possibly go to other villages, kill the other villages. I don't think I was thinking about this today. I don't think the Sand will be one of those villages, and there was a specific reason why. I think it may have been one of your videos that changed my opinion on the Sand being destroyed. But no, just to continue on that point, right? I think it's possible for him to utilize the clones to destroy the other villages, right? I don't think they'll have much of a chance against Code, being that most of the powerhouses are in Konoha, right? So if that's the case,
they're gonna stand no chance.
if that's the case, right? What if the clones can actually absorb the chakra from the other people that they kill, right? And what if that's the plan, that one of Code's plans when why he's been gone these last 4 days, right? Why he's been MIA. What if he's just been acquiring chakra, getting stronger, right? That way when he gets to the village, not only does he have more powerful clones and an army, right? But now he has the opportunity to possibly absorb the clones, right? Because his goal was to originally be an Ōtsutsuki. So what if him putting his claw marks with his DNA on the clones, splicing them with his DNA, gave him gave him the ability to absorb them and become his own Ōtsutsuki? What do you think about that?
Well, actually, the thing I was thinking about the most about that is how, like, if you remember, like, the Infinite Tsukuyomi, like, how it ties everyone up, and it's actually a way of gathering chakra that Kage came up with. Like, she gained a shitload from like the people. Like they actually made a bigger deal about the amount of chakra she was sucking up, or really Zetsu was sucking up out of the infinite Tsukiyomi than they did the whole Ten Tails. So like there's a lot of chakra in like the whole world. So the way I was actually wondering if you were going, he kind of did something similar. Is of like, yeah, actually, what if he just sucked up like the chakra of a bunch of people and did it that way? I mean, the only thing is like I feel like Code's hell bent on the chakra fruit itself, so I feel like they'll want to find a way for him to like remake one. But if they did something like that, where it's like he just sucked up the planet essentially, one person at a time, and then pulled it back together to make a chakra fruit, that would be an interesting way. Which is not quite what you said, but like the general concept is interesting.
Do you think he'll make it to part 2?
I hope so, at the very least. I don't feel like Code should be like gotten rid of yet because of what he can do for Kawaki.
Okay. I think he'll kind of I don't know if you're about to say this, but I think he'll definitely serve as a building block for Kawaki's character, right? If they were to make him a part 2 villain.
Yeah, that's like his role essentially is like he got, I mean, Borushiki also helped in this, but like I think the point of Code, at least in Amado's eyes, was to get Kawaki to wish his karma seal back. Then he releases the limiters. That's to get Kawaki to like work his way to 100% Ishiki power. And then that would be unlimited Code. But the cool thing that they could do would then have the Code actually achieve his goal of getting the chakra fruit. And then that might put him above. And so Kawaki would have to actually surpass Ishiki in that case, kind of thing. Like, I think he could do a lot for him. Or he could just serve as a way of bringing Ishiki back and do it that way. And in which case, Kawaki needs to surpass Ishiki to beat him.
I mean,
but like, I think like that's why I'm like, if they get rid of Code now, it's like, what is Kawaki? I mean, yeah, he wants to protect Naruto, but like, what's the threat he's worried about? Because as strong as Borushiki is, Kawaki's already realized he can take him. I guess you could say Daemon, but Daemon's not really. Daemon and Eida are like weird in Amado. All three of them like weird villains where they're like they're clearly not fully good guys, but they're not like Code where it's just like a blatant villain.
Wait, you said that you think Kawaki could take Boruto, or you think Kawaki could take Code?
Oh, right now Boruto, he's gonna be like at least even. He literally did it last time.
To Kawaki?
Yeah, like Kawaki's
okay.
like, at least equal to Boruto. Like, so
No,
I don't
yeah.
think Momoshiki's enough of a threat to force Kawaki to get stronger. Like, he needs someone who's straight up stronger than him at the moment, so that he has no choice but to get stronger, kind of thing. So that's why I'm like, I don't like the idea of Code dying, just like that.
Do you think the time skip is anytime soon? Next 5 to 10 chapters?
I honestly don't know. Because honestly, I think I'm gonna say the time skip's coming soon when shit's hitting the fan, and I think Boruto's about to lose everything. Until that happens, I'm not gonna know. Like, because that could easily happen next chapter. Momoshiki starts pulling some shenanigans. But then it could also happen 20 chapters from now, and they really play out the whole Eida Daemon Amado stuff. So like, I honestly just don't know.
Wait, are you? I don't know if I'm understanding this correctly, but are you under the impression that Momoshiki is a higher threat than Eida and Daemon?
No, not even close.
Okay. I'm just
the reason I mentioned Momoshiki is because Daemon and Eida probably aren't gonna like attack people.
You don't think so?
The only person who would. Well, I mean, actually, I guess I should. Daemon already did that, but I don't think he'll do it in the sense of like he's gonna actually try to kill Kawaki or something right now. he's not gonna, because Ada doesn't want him to do that.
Oh
Like,
no,
he might beat
definitely
him
not.
up, but like I don't think Damon's just gonna randomly try to destroy the village out of nowhere, because that would go against what Ada wants. Because Kawaki's not gonna like that. So the only person in the village that like would go against everyone would be Borushiki. But honestly, Momoshiki also probably knows that Damon's right there to beat his ass. So on second thought, I mean, that's a terrible idea, and that will never happen.
It's probably reason not to pop out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
So
like, hey,
actually,
wait a
on that
minute, let's.
note, yeah. On that note, I think it's going to be a little while for the time skip.
So here's what I kind of foresee, right? As far as like the events playing out, right? As far as the dynamic over there, I don't think Momoshiki will pop out due to, of course, like you just stated, Damon and Ada being there, right?
Yeah.
There isn't
Never
any
mind.
reason or cause to jump out now. The only reason I would assume Momoshiki would take over is if Code popped up and provided some valid threat, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing that would make sense. Yeah, I agree.
And things would really have to hit the fan. I think as far as Ada and Damon, their threat kind of comes more internally to the village, just because they
Yeah.
kind of have tried to force forcefully include themselves into the village, right? I don't see this playing out well. They weren't really invited, right? They're more so forced because of Ada's need to be with Kawaki. I think the dynamic between Kawaki and Ada, I think that'll probably work in its own weird way, going into the time skip and even post time skip, right? But as far as like Ada and Damon being in the village, I think that's bad news. I kind of see
Yeah. It's gonna have
Ada.
a problem. Like,
Yeah,
whatever the problem ends up being, yeah, it's gonna lead to something.
just because of Ada's ability, right? I think that she could possibly take over the village and try to become the new Hokage if she really wanted to. Like she felt like Naruto or Sasuke or excuse me, Naruto or Shikamaru weren't doing things right. She'd be like, "Hey, well, I'm the Hokage now. Like, who has
That
anything to
would be
say about this?"
hilarious. That would be hilarious. Like, in
I
one
swear I could see
round,
this happening.
people to sign a petition to vote for her for Hokage.
There would be no petition needed. Like, she'd be like, "Hey, this is my office now." Everyone would be like, "Yes, lovely Ada, it is your
Yeah, literally,
office."
she'd go up to like the feudal lord and be like, "I am Hokage now." They're like, "Yes, you are." Like,
I swear I could see this happening. Like I've actually made some theories based off of this. How just and I was kind of hoping that Ada and Damon would not show up because I did not want it to go down this route this fast.
yeah,
But
to be
since we're
honest with
already
you, I
here in
was
the
kind of hoping
village,
that they.
no, why not?
Yeah, like honest. Yeah, I think that like the more I'm thinking about it, I think people need to just like be patient on the time skip thing. Like, stop worrying about it. Kishimoto wants to let this run through a little bit here. Like, unless Code actually invades, which I just think isn't the best idea anymore. Like, they're gonna have to like just go all in on this. They started the room sharing mission. They're gonna want to have like the interactions to like show Kawaki slowly changing and everything. So like, if we're gonna be here for a bit, and so the best way actually to get Ada and Damon over as villains is if they're making subtle moves the same way Amado did.
Yeah,
So
Code
I
may
think
not show up. I don't think I don't think that'll make or break the chapter for me. I think as far
I
as
don't
like
think Code's gonna. I don't even think Code will appear in the chapter. I don't even know that they're gonna show a single panel of him. I think they might hold off on him for several chapters, honestly,
it's possible.
and then randomly at some point down the line they like give us an update on him. I can see that happening, and I can't remember who the. There was someone that had a similar situation that made me think about that. I honestly don't remember what it was, but I remember I had a reason why I thought of that.
what I don't see is I don't see what's going into the time skip without the Shinobi world being like ruined, right? um,
To
into
like what extent? Like
so
completely ruined or like a decent amount ruined?
I'm talking about fourth grade Ninja War ruined, right? On a smaller
Before the
scale,
time skip?
before the time skip, on a smaller scale, right? Um, because I think that the rehabilitation of the Shinobi world will basically revive itself because of technology, right? This is sort of a personal theory of mine. But I think as far as like the next actions that Code will take, he'll start destroying the leaves or start destroying other villages one by one, acquiring chakra, right? And then we'll probably see like little clips of him in other villages and stuff, wreaking havoc. I don't think I think at the last village he'll probably touch is Eida and Daemon, or excuse me, is Konoha, right? Because of Eida
Yeah,
and Daemon.
especially if he gets intel, or even honestly, he might just guess that they're gonna be there now because he already knew that she got offered it. Um, so I don't feel like it would make sense for him to assume that either, like to go to the village anymore either.
Realistically, yeah, I mean, as far as like Konoha goes, I think they're already like spiraling. They're already on a downward spiral, right?
Yeah,
Ada
they
and
have a different problem. They have Amado and Ada and
they've
Damon
they've
running
got to
around
deal with
ruining it.
Amado, Ada, the villagers, you know, um, all these different threats in the leaf, right? That they've got to try to deal with, right? They
Yeah, and
like
the other villages don't really have anything. So I do like the idea of Code actually like threatening the rest of the world while like from the outside, and while Ada, Amado, or Damon kind of ruin the village from the inside.
for the most part, yeah, and I think that'll be a good like way to kind of like conclude and meet in the middle. And I don't think they'll necessarily. I think they'll pretty much attack it on two different fronts, right? Like you just stated. But I think as far as Ada and Damon goes, I think them trying to, you know, ruin the village politically, and then of course the Shinobi world. Um, I think it's very possible with the help of Ada, Damon, and Kawaki. I think they'll definitely make a difference. As far as Amato goes, regardless of where he's at, I think he's pretty much a chameleon at this point. He he can do what he wants, and I don't necessarily. I have my own particular. I have my own theories on Amato. I don't necessarily think he is because he does a lot of things carelessly, right? But he's also got um a lot of knowledge that he's not sharing, and
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
based off of that alone, I think that his character um is capable of becoming sort of like a main antagonist. I think it's working its way. Depending on what he says in this next chapter, I think it's very possible that he could be trying to work his way into that main villain role. Um, trying
Yeah.
to explain how he's come so far with technology, but also I don't think he cares about what Aiden Damon does, um, or what Code does. I think they're all just a piece of Mato's puzzle. I think that's
Yeah, I think they're all just tools like for his goal.
uh,
Particularly Code anyway. Ada and Demon were kind of just random things, and he's like, "Oh, whatever."
yeah. I mean, I think I don't know. I think he sounded concerned, but at the time, but I think that's because uh he knows what they're capable of, and that may
Yeah,
have
and
put
they
a
were
dent in his
against him
plans
more so at the time. Like when she showed up on Code's side, and you didn't know she was alive. I think that was part of it.
for sure.
Yeah, actually, like I want to curious what you have to pick. So there's kind of two questions that are similar. So between Amado and Ada, who would you rather be like? assuming at some point one villain like kind of comes out on top. They both kind of want Kawaki. Like, assuming one villain's gonna come out on top, one's gonna lose, one's gonna stay around longer. Who do you want to be like the bigger villain?
Ada or Code?
Eida or Amado?
Oh, Ada or
Assuming they're
Amado.
both kind of villains. Yeah, who would you rather be like the bigger antagonist?
So
Whether they're evil or not.
this is very interesting because I don't necessarily think Ada and Damon are evil. I think they have their
Yeah, I don't
own
think I don't think
intent.
any of them are evil, but they might have like an antagonistic role to some extent.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Okay, well I see Amado's ambitions leading him in knowledge, leading him into making him the bigger threat. If that's
Okay, I want Amado to be the bigger threat too. I love Amado.
But as far as like Ada and Damon, I think their political discourse or their influence in political discourse could play a role in them making their way into being seen as the main villain going forward into the time skip or part 2. Aside from Code, I think
Yeah,
Code.
those are the three. I mean, there's kind of 4 villains right now. There's Momoshiki, Amado, Aiden Damon as a pair, and then Code are the main ones. But like Ada and Damon and Amado aren't like full on villains right now. They're kind of like just shady, but not villains.
That you said Ada and Damon are shady.
A little bit. I don't know.
Oh,
I
okay.
get a little bit of a shady vibe out of them. Like
They're
they're not to
definitely
the same
shady.
extent
Yeah.
as Amado. Yeah, they're like not Amado sketch, but they are a little bit like there's some weird things like about them for sure.
They have their own ambitions, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like, and I want to know like what it really is.
But I honestly I don't know if it's I don't know if it's that deep. Honestly, I think that Ada's ambitions really lie in trying to um just find someone that she can love. I think it's just as simple as that, really. I think she just has the power to make a difference, but I think her ambitions are just she wants to find someone she can love, and whether or not Kawaki plays his role, I think one of the reasons why he may play his role is for the betterment of the village and for Naruto. I think that may be a reason why he'll say, "Oh, all right, well, he'll understand. Maybe he'll have some sort of interaction and understand. Hey, all right, I guess I have to at least act like I like Ada, because if not,
I
I'm
think
not
they make
strong
this
enough
so
at the
funny,
moment."
dude. They could make this shit so funny, like with Kawaki, imagine him having like the anime. I can see doing this really well, like having him in his mind thinking like, "What do I do? I don't like her, but I gotta pretend for Naruto." Like, and then he says something to Ada, and it's like he's like, "I think you're so pretty," but he like doesn't mean any of it. Kind of like sided. I think it'd be pretty funny.
What do you think about Kawaki possibly stealing Naruto to save
Like,
his life?
yeah, like I think like that's probably like the general idea of what Kawaki meant in the time skip scene. Like I think he did something like that, like something for Naruto. Naruto probably didn't ask for it, but he probably did it for Naruto.
I
And
mean,
I
at
think
this
he
point,
might do that at the end of part 1, honestly. If
it,
Sasuke dies, I think Kawaki does that at the end of part 1.
what do you think kills Sasuke if Sasuke dies? Let me ask you that.
So this is the thing. Like, there's so I don't think Momoshiki does it. Um, I'll
Okay.
stand by it. I don't think Momoshiki does it. The hardest hitting option, I know everybody is like, no, but like if you want something to hit hard, Boruto doing it is the best one. It's the hardest one to write, but it hits the hardest.
Okay.
Kawaki doing it doesn't really make sense, but
Right.
that would also hit hard. If Kawaki
Uh,
for some reason kills Sasuke, that would definitely hit Boruto. Um, the only 4 options, or no, let's see. I mean, you have Code, Boruto, Kawaki, or I don't even know, Daemon. Like, I really don't. I don't think it's Momoshiki because of his dialogue. And several times, it just implies it's not him who's going to do it.
That
So
would be
I just
crazy if the Momoshiki did do it, because you, at that point, Boruto's being forced to kill his own master. That would be crazy
yeah,
enough to make a difference in
it would
Boruto's
like
life.
I think that would work if it just wasn't for what he says in a few different scenes. Like I would 100% be like, yeah, that's fine. If it wasn't for the fact that he makes it seem like he doesn't know why the moment that happens, the fact that he said Boruto's blue eyes, plural, and the freaking Byakugan is white, and there's only one blue eye at that point when Momoshiki takes over. Um, a combination of all those other scenes too. It just doesn't seem like Momoshiki's gonna do it.
Hmm.
That's the only. Otherwise, I'd be like, yeah, that works because it would be like when Naruto in Four Tails hit Sakura, and like he's like, "Oh my god, dude, I almost killed Sakura," and like it
It was
hit
traumatic
Gon,
for him,
or
yeah.
yeah, like so like that would work. Or how Boruto almost killed Naruto, and then like that hit him, like that would work. It just the things that Momoshiki says makes me think it's not him. And so
What did
like,
he
well,
say?
it's because, well, like I said, initially he says, "All right, it's Boruto's blue eyes, in plural, blue eyes." When Momoshiki takes over, there's a Byakugan, which isn't blue; it's like whitish. So there's that. It
Oh.
doesn't really work anymore. He didn't say blue eye; he said blue eyes. The other thing is in chapter 67, when he's talking about Boruto's fate again, and he's like, um, something close to this. And why that moment shall come to pass, I have no idea, but it'll be a true spectacle. So it seems like he saw the moment, but not why it happened. And so, like, but he made it sound like it's gonna be like crazy. And so, like, I'm like, if Momoshiki saw, himself stabbing Sasuke, I think he would be able to piece the puzzle together that he killed Sasuke. And so I'm like, I don't think he did it. I think he saw. This is all assuming Sasuke dies for this, by the way. But assuming he did die, like I think he saw the moment, but he didn't see why. And I don't feel like, and the way he makes it seem like is that like he saw enough to know it's a true spectacle. Because if he just saw Sasuke dead and that's it, I don't think that'd be the true spectacle. Like I feel like he's seeing the death happen.
Right.
Um, So yeah, I just, and then like I said, the blue eyes thing, it just doesn't feel right.
So,
With unless Momoshiki takes over without the Byakugan eye. I guess that's always an option, but he never does that in the past. So
so I was thinking that if basically with the blue eyes, um, right, when he said that, I think what he meant by that is his humanity, right? Um, Boruto leaning toward his humanity, I think, may serve as some type of drawback, right? Not trusting in his own ability as a shinobi, right? I think this is all kind of adding up to his character before the time skip. So I think
yeah,
when that
kind of like
spectacle does happen, I think he'll then full on kind of appreciate excuse me, being being a shinobi. But I think that spectacle has to happen and he
oh
has to kind
yeah,
of not
I
rely
think
as
that's
much
kind
on
of
his
what
humanity for that transition to kind of happen and his character.
yeah. So like 100%, this moment's gonna be like character defining for Boruto, and like that's actually another like thing people have. I mean, I've even talked about it. Is that like you know the the way you're supposed to be a shinobi, like at the end of the day, like it's like what Danzo teaches and people like that is like you have to like just put away your heart and do what's right for the mission kind of thing.
And that's what
And
Boruto
so
struggles with.
Exactly, and it's the same thing that Naruto had as a problem. They both have blue eyes. Momoshiki might mean that like your caring nature, like your I don't know what word I want to use, but like
That
that
was
type
well
of
put.
personality is gonna screw you over because you didn't just be a shinobi in that moment and like close your heart to do what you need to do, and that's gonna lead to something going down. I'm fine with that, type of a way. Maybe it's not that Boruto kills somebody, but because he didn't be a shinobi like he needed to, it led to somebody dying. I'm fine with that. I think that works just as well.
You
The
know,
only thing in that case is like, well, who's gonna like do the thing? Like I don't know, code like, or
I'm
maybe ooh, no, I don't know if this might be too much for part one, but if you want to get Kawaki involved, if Boruto needed to make the shinobi decision to kill Kawaki for whatever reason, and he doesn't, and then Kawaki kills somebody, that could work. That might be a bit too fast of a turnaround for part one,
that would be
but
interesting.
like that could work. They'd have to. Part one
Hmm.
can't end anytime soon if they do that. But that could be good.
Yeah,
That could be a good way of doing it too. Like
I could see maybe something like that. I kind of see like I like how you kind of put that the Momoshiki into perspective. I like how you did that. Because I think it's his character definitely he says a lot of these stoic metaphoric um things, right?
Momoshiki talks so fancy sometimes. It's pretty funny.
Momoshiki is fancy. Oh my gosh.
Dude, he walked into that arena with a freaking like gown and like whatever like cloth thing over his head. Like that dude is fancy.
I forget who I was talking
And
to
she
about this,
drinks
but
wine. Like
yeah,
the Ōtsutsuki are fancy.
they're fancy, right? Yeah, that's
except for maybe Urashiki. Urashiki is just like a fisherman. Like
so I was actually thinking about how 'cause a lot of people they see these Ōtsutsukis. I'm glad you pointed out. You said in one of the chapters, Amado stated or said something along the lines of Ōtsutsukis being parasites, right? And this is exactly how I view them, right? They're they're a parasitic race, right? In that
yeah,
their sole purpose is in their not sole purpose, but their entire um purpose is to be a parasite, right? And they have a lot of parasitic tendencies, latching themselves onto people, acquiring, trying to feed, right? Stuff like this. And I think a lot of people try to power scale Otsutsukis, right? And so and so is scalable to um this Otsutsuki. But I don't here's the thing, right, when it comes to that. Otsutsukis, I think, have a certain understanding that comes naturally to them. Um, and it's also, I think, fundamental that they're acknowledged as species that are capable of possessing knowledge of chakra easily, right? Um,
hmm
they instinctively are capable, right? Unlike shinobi who have to learn and train to be capable, right? I think this applies to all Otsutsukis, but I don't think this applies to shinobi, right? I think this is the clear difference when quote unquote scaling, right? I don't think you can scale Otsutsukis to shinobi, right? Because they are instinctively capable of understanding the knowledge surrounding chakra, right? And I think going forward into the time skip, I think we'll kind of move away from Otsutsukis a little bit and try to dive a little bit more into technology. I think we've seen a bit about we've seen how scientists have become more prevalent And just in Boruto, the Boruto series alone, we look back at Naruto, it was all about chakra. The last villain was an Ōtsutsuki, right? And if this is a
Mhm.
linear story, right, the natural progression for us to go down is to probably try to pivot away from Otsutsuki's, right? Or at least try to find a way to get away. Excuse me, saying away a lot. Um, find a way to deal with these Otsutsukis on a shinobi level, right? And I think the way shinobis are kind of going is they're learning technology, right? We've seen shinobis like Sumire, Dinky, um, that other scientist that no one knows his name.
Okay.
Kitasuke, yeah. Yes, that guy. Um, I forget his name every single time, swear.
Dude, he's literally just been overshadowed by Amado by so much. Like,
And then we've got a model, right? And a lot of people think Orochimaru is going to play a role going forward, and it's possible. But I think if anything, Orochimaru may start to learn more from these scientists, right? And
I
their
think
knowledge.
Orochimaru's thing is more like gonna be through Mitsuki. I mean, I'd love to see him directly involved, but I think his science project is just Mitsuki essentially for the most part. He does some stuff in the novels with literal. He makes like glasses and stuff, Byakugan glasses, things like that. But as
Yeah,
far as the Boruto manga, like I think it's like it's gonna be slowly unveiled with Mitsuki, all these things, and that's what Orochimaru did. But
I think it's very interesting how in this late. I don't know if you've seen the latest chapter of the Sasuke Retsuden manga.
yeah, I just read it. Yeah,
The guy
dude. No,
has
no, okay.
glass
I'm glad you
eyes.
mentioned it. Yeah, dude. No, so this is the thing about this. I thought it was so interesting because, like, honestly, the glasses thing with Ada might not be like that far fetched because glass eyes made him immune to genjutsu. I was like, dude, honestly, they might be getting something.
I think this is definitely either foreshadowing something, right, or hinting towards something, right. Regardless, like I definitely think technology will play a bigger role going forward, and we'll start to see a little bit more. Even with Mitsuki, right. I kind of made a theory. It was sort of like a gas theory that I threw out, but I still very much appreciate it, right? I kind of said that what if Mitsuki dies, right? What if his body gets destroyed and his consciousness, or not dies, but his body gets destroyed, right? To the point to where Orochimaru cannot rebuild it um, the way it used to be, and he has to rely on the current knowledge the current Leaf's knowledge of technology, right? Um, and what if Mitsuki starts to become more of like this AI for like a security force? Like I don't know if you've seen Altered Carbon
Dude,
or
that'd be kind of funny. Like Mitsuki becomes like a robot,
you that
but like it like transfers consciousness into it.
he's already kind of giving off Psy vibes, right? And if I don't see him going into the Anbu, right?
No,
He's too broken to go into the Anbu, right? He's too broken to be on the battlefield. Like he's damn near the strongest person, the strongest like new gen character in the first
yeah,
few
like Mitsuki
episodes
is
of
like low
Boruto, you
key
know.
too strong. Like they just have to have him not try at all times.
I could definitely see him utilizing his Sage mode abilities
Yeah, I want to see
in
it
other
before part
ways.
two. But
Like if they
yeah,
utilize
Mitsuki.
technology for Mitsuki and made him more of like an AI robot type of cyborg, I think he may actually find a way to utilize his Sage mode.
It'd be interesting if they use Ninja Tech for his Sage mode. Because I mean, like as of right now, all we know is it's too strong for his body. Um, so the only options are really he just gets a stronger body through training and then it just works, or they just do something completely different. Um, I'm trying to think. I mean, Kawaki. So they have Kawaki has ninja tech already. I don't know if they want to have everyone in Team Seven or only like a few. Because let's just say they do this with Mitsuki. Sarda, she could definitely use it. Like, I mean, the only thing she's got is their Sharingan, and eventually probably Mangekyo, maybe Byakugo Seal. So she could probably use it. But like Boruto using ninja tech, I guess he used a gauntlet in the past. I'm just trying to think of like what they would do with that.
I think it'd
Because
be
honestly,
really.
what I was gonna say with what you were mentioning is I can see how they go away from the Ōtsutsuki for a bit, and like just like how with Naruto, the final enemy was Ōtsutsuki. They might do that again, but this time they're extra strong. And the thing that Naruto and Sasuke and everybody's been preaching is that you need to have a balance with ninja tech. You can't just rely on it, but you should use it. And so the
Exactly.
way to beat the Ōtsutsuki final villain people might be Shinobi and ninja tech together in
Oh yeah.
conjunction. And like I can totally see that. It's a good way of like ending like that's the whole question, how does science fit in a world of ninja? Simple. Blend the two of them together. Wasn't that hard to think of, but it takes everyone forever to figure it out.
In fact,
Like
Naruto
but like
backtracked like chapters later. Like, hey, I'm using ninja tech.
yeah, and like he basically then he told Boruto like the key is how you use it. Like you don't want to like just give up ninja training to rely on ninja tech. But like, yeah, it's useful. You're gonna need power. We're gonna need power to defeat these threats, kind of thing. And so seeing like them at the end actually they all combine the two, whether it's like Kawaki where he has a ninja tech body and he uses a ninjutsu, or if it's just like one character is ninja tech heavy, but the other one's ninja heavy and they kind of tag team or something. Like however they want to go about it. I definitely think like the combination of ninja and ninja tech defeating the enemy makes sense. And like at that point, the enemy would probably like I definitely think like all the whole ninja versus ninja tech stuff will probably come before the end of the Ōtsutsuki clan. That's just my guess. I think the Ōtsutsuki don't have much redeeming qualities. If they talk no jutsu them, that's kind of ass. And so I'd rather see them talk no jutsu Kawaki into being good again, and then they defeat the Ōtsutsuki than the other way around. So
So I kind of see it. The reason why I kind of started to think about, at least from what I recall, ninja tech being more prevalent, right? Is chakra serves as a backward, as like a, it serves against them, right? Um, so if Ōtsutsukis are prodigies, if they're chakra prodigies, then they could essentially use people with less chakra against them. You know, they could use the shinobi's chakra against them, or absorb their chakra. That essentially, if you have mass or higher level threats of Ōtsutsuki's incoming, right? That kind of puts the odds against them, right? If they're primarily using chakra against chakra prodigies, right? And so
yeah,
to
so
to
like they need to
basically,
utilize other things too.
essentially, if they get away from that, then they have a way to um basically not have um loss of words right now. Basically have a way to fight the Ōtsutsukis without losing their chakra, you know, and possibly dying in the process. Um
Yeah, and then like I think like they'll have like honestly Kawaki might take that philosophy and be like, "Yo, this is what we need to do to get strong." But then like on his end, he'll be like foregoing, ninja training and getting himself stronger from within, and so that'll be like his weakness kind of thing. And then they're gonna like come together and find out like, oh yeah, you need both. Like,
so I think I was speaking to I was speaking to Dynasty about this interesting dynamic, right? How Kawaki would possibly be seen as like the good guy and Boruto would be the bad guy, right? at least in the eyes of the shinobi world, right? And if this is the
That
case,
could maybe work, yeah. Like, I don't think like Boruto will literally be the bad guy, but people viewing him as like wrong while Kawaki is right or something. Like maybe they think like, yeah, dude, what Kawaki's saying is right. That could work. Like I'm fine with that.
and if this is the case, right? Going forward, if there are impending threats, especially Ōtsutsuki, if they're being led by someone like Kawaki, who is sort of a bad guy, at least in our eyes, the audience, right? Um,
Yeah, I don't know. Flash
possibly
forward scene, he doesn't seem to be on the good guy side, so
po- possibly being, it looks like they're still in the leaf. So why would Boruto look like he'd probably been traveling while Kawaki looked pretty at ease. He looked like he was at home for the most part. So if at the very least, it looks like Boruto would be leaving. So if this is the case, right, and Boruto is on his journeys and Kawaki is essentially leading the Shinobi alliance or forces, right, with the help of Eida and Daemon, right, then what if um, Kawaki leading them serves a double purpose, right? What if this double purpose is these incoming Ōtsutsuki threats, right, and his philosophy to utilize technology since the age of shinobi is over, right? What if this new age of technology assists for the betterment of the shinobi world to fight against the Ōtsutsuki? And so ultimately, this kind of looks like it's in our eyes, it's probably like, oh, this Kawaki is just basically using the shinobi forces to serve his own goal, but it serves, like I said, it serves that double purpose. So now you have the Shinobi Alliance, the Shinobi forces, able to defend themselves because they utilized whether they utilized it for bad initially, they learned how to use it, and they were able to defend themselves. Um, I think this may be the case going forward. It'll probably be a weird dynamic since Boruto would probably be viewed as the bad guy.
yeah. Everyone's like, dude, like what's wrong with this ninja tech? Like
Yeah, but you got characters like Dinky, right? You got characters, more and more characters that are taking this opportunity and they're running with it.
speaking of Denki, I remember I heard from Saran that like I remember hearing this from years ago that like Kodachi like was supposed to put Denki and Iwabe into the manga, but that like never happened.
it's
And
pos-
Denki would have been interesting because like the ninja tech like connection would have been interesting, like with Amado and Katasuki and Sumire, but like it hadn't happened.
it makes sense to not include them right now just because that age hasn't come yet officially, right? But characters like Sumire have made their introduction into the manga already, which is
Yeah,
interesting
and
to me.
she's like, yeah, and she's kind of going the ninja tech route, being Amado and Katasuki's assistant.
Let me
But
introduce you to something, right? I'm sorry to cut you off.
yeah, you're fine.
I'm on a roll right now. What if Amado's true ambitions are to acquire each karma, right? Each karma seal, and eventually attach them to himself to become the Ōtsutsuki god.
I mean, if that happens, then I've been wrong about everything. I still hang my hat on the theory. Amado wants to wish for his daughter back, and that's all there is to it.
You think that
That's a
he has
theory I hang my hat on. And if Amado turns out like to be going after all this Ōtsutsuki shit, then I'm just way off. I was wrong, and I'll admit it.
so I made a video, it was a short video about and one of the things I talked about in that video was a parallel between Amado and Orochimaru. How
Yeah,
Amado
and I can see that aspect of Orochimaru wanting to become like the ultimate being, basically.
essentially, right? Not only his ambitions, right? But his motivation, right? Now we know Orochimaru basically started to as a Naruto fan, right? You know that Orochimaru essentially started his studies because his family died, right?
Yeah, and he
Um
didn't want to die. And
exactly.
then,
So that's what made
yeah,
him journey along the path of a scientist, right? Um Now we have Orochimaru, who essentially is the parallel of Orochimaru. Now we know that his daughter died, right? Which presumptively gave him the motive to study science, right? Um,
yeah, I won't be surprised if like that motivated him.
yeah. So
It's like
that's
the reverse. Instead of his parents, it's his child.
it's his child. It's a very it's a very interesting parallel for me. Just because I see so many similarities between him and Orochimaru, but then you got he takes it another way. Instead of using chakra as a foundation for his studies, he uses technology. Um and technologies already served a purpose before we even knew who Amado was, or what he could do, or what was capable of. Before we even knew his character, we saw technology making its debut in Boruto, um, in the beginning arc. So that's kind of how I make that kind of trend, that deduction, as far as there being a possible motive for him to essentially, like an underlying motive, basically, not only
Yeah, I mean,
to.
like honestly, like, the parallels aspect of this like is good. It's just like this the small scenes with Amado, like when he looks at Delta sad and some of those things is partly like what makes me think that a lot of what makes me think the whole daughter route. But like I definitely am on board with the parallels with Orochimaru and Amado in tons of ways.
do you, do you think
And so
you think Delta could be his daughter, or what are your thoughts on that?
on that, I honestly I think she's like a clone of his daughter. That's why he sees his daughter in her. I remember there was that translation, the Viz changed, but like there was a translation where Amato says, "My daughter always talks back to me" or whatever. Like, I bet you that like the Japanese version, probably the actual version, probably makes it sound like that. Viz probably changed it because they do that a lot. And so
Bro,
like, I feel like there's signs that like she's related to it in some way. And so I could see that being a thing. I don't think Delta is the daughter, but like he might be like kind of like Kashi Koji, clone of Jiraiya. It might be a same idea there.
interesting that you bring that up.
Yeah, and I
S-
mean like there's more reasons why. It's actually part of my next video's topic actually with
Clones?
not so much that it has to do with Amato. It's really I'm basically doing a three-part series about Amato and Kawaki.
Okay, you don't have to
Um
spoil it if you don't want to.
Nah, yeah, I'm trying to like keep. I'm like trying not to like give anything away with it, but essentially, without really giving a hint towards it for anyone who's watching that knows my channel,
All right.
um, consider if Delta's a clone of his daughter, that's like how can I word this? Getting his feet in the water. If you watch my last video, you'll understand what that might mean. But um,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, I
it's
did
like dipping
actually.
his foot in the water, but there's another step beyond that he wants to take.
Yeah, I did see your video about the feet in the water analogy, and just so I kind of understand. I guess I probably should
Yeah,
clarify
I worded
whether or
that
not
so weirdly in the video. It was kind of funny, but I didn't really know the best way to like put it all together. So the wet analogy sounded kind of weird, but I was like, I don't know how else to describe this in a way that just works.
I have a follow-up question after you elaborate a little bit.
Yeah, what do you want me to elaborate on? Just like what I meant?
Oh yeah, please. Yes, please.
Yeah, so basically what I was trying to like what I wanted to say was like the moral of the story was that Kawaki is essentially going deeper into the water, like as he goes down his path to like straying away from the ninja way. Like that was the point. He got his essentially with the river thing, a ford is like a shallow place of water basically. So that'd be like you go from the bridge, you're dry, and then you get your feet and knees wet, like in knee deep water. And then
Right.
the deep snake infested waters is like him diving into the water, essentially.
Oh,
And
I
like
got.
that's just them slowly going away from the ninja path. But I was like, well, how can I like implement ninja training into it. So I was like, all right, you can sweat. That's like training. And I was like, all right, sweating makes your skin wet. So then I was like, all right, you have two ways to make your skin wet. You can either sweat or you can go in the water. And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna roll with this. But like the point I was trying to, I was like, maybe I should have just skipped that aspect of it
No,
because it probably made it more confusing.
it made
But the
sense.
point was he's going deeper into the water.
Yeah, no, it definitely made sense. I just needed a reminder because I wanted to kind of talk about that. No, but that definitely made sense. First I need to ask you a very important question.
Yeah.
Is water wet?
Oh God. um, you're asking me with the deep questions here. I haven't really thought about it.
No, that wasn't a serious question. That was a serious question.
I
But if you're
so
watching,
like
for you
I
viewers
feel
out there,
like
please please answer below if you're watching.
everybody comment which way. I mean, like I you know like the answer is probably wrong, but I look at water and I say it's wet. Like I get wet when I'm in water, so I think of it as wet. It's probably the wrong answer, but like that's the way I look at it.
No, I got your analogy. I'm just messing with you. But
Yeah, no,
no,
it was a
it
good
definitely
question.
makes it definitely makes sense as far as Kawaki character goes. Like he
Yeah, and I think they're doing something similar with Amado. Assuming like Amado literally has the last name Sanzu, that's literally been named. So I 100% think they're going to do something with that. Kawaki, that's theoretical, but I can do a similar concept with Amado with the river thing, and that like Delta is essentially the Ford part. I'll explain more what I mean in it. Whenever hopefully I get to that on like Friday at the latest. But
all right, you guys heard it
yeah,
first,
that's
Friday.
yeah. No, I haven't done a Friday in a while, so I was like, the last Friday video I did, I got 6,000 views on it. There's clearly a correlation.
Gotta drop it on Friday.
Yeah, I'm ready to try it. Watch it do terrible. I'd be like, shit.
Ah, you got this.
I think I'll do fine because I mean the two videos before are doing okay so far. But yeah, I think it's like one of those things where you can definitely make a lot of the parallels with like Amado and Orochimaru, the way he acts. It does seem very villainous, and I wouldn't be overly upset because if I had to pick one villain I want to be the biggest villain right now, it's Amado 100%. I like Amado the best out of our villains. So like I am not going to be upset about it, but I get the feeling he's not really a villain and he's more just like selfish essentially. What he's
Yes,
doing
yes, he
isn't
is.
like gonna harm the world. I mean, it'll indirectly harm the world 100%. I think everything Amato does is gonna bite him in the ass, and it's gonna bite the world in the ass. But that wasn't the intention. That's
So,
where I stand right now. I think he's trying to bring his daughter back, but in the process of doing so, he's gonna ruin the world.
so what do you think exactly? And what do you think? I gotta I gotta agree with you when you when you say that. Um, what do you think? Like you mentioned his as far as Orochimaru's villainous approach. Um, I'm kind of getting ambition um vibes,
Yeah,
like as far
yeah.
as his
Orochimaru is very ambitious. Yeah,
and Orochimaru. Sorry, you said Amato was forget the exact word you used. Um,
Selfish?
selfish, yes. So I think
Yeah,
his that kind of
Orochimaru was the
ties
same way.
into. I think that kind of ties into his ambitions, right? So regardless if he's, you know, if you're so ambitious that you don't see how selfish you are, then what that could possibly lead to is a
Ooh,
blind
I am so happy you just said that word. Keep going on.
blind goal, right? So essentially, like, he may not even be recognizing um what he could affect, right? I think this could
I'm
probably tie
so happy
into,
you just said that.
yeah, I think basically this could tie into um his him trying to a lot. There's a lot of um theories out there basically s- suggesting that Kawaki's dojutsu may lead to a wish, right? And if he's so selfish that he does not um and ambitious that he does not realize or care that his actions could have a negative effect, then essentially this could take him to the next level when it comes to being a villain. Um,
Dude, you want to know what the best part about everything you just said about Amado being blind to like that is? Guess what one of the meanings for Amado's name is?
what's that?
Blind.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's why I got so excited. I was like, dude, that's literally one of the meanings of Amado's name that you can translate.
I did not catch this. Did you post this in the video? Did you
No,
post it
that,
earlier?
that I'm gonna talk about in the next one. It's one of there's two Japanese translations I see very consistently show up, and then there's the one that people make with the Spanish way of translating it. And I have a way of explaining all three of them. Um, blind is one, storm door is one, and love or love, beloved, like a variation of love, because
Wait a
the
minute.
word amado is like it's like a past it's like you wouldn't use it like in just to say like I love you, but like it's a form of to love. And so like that's
Blind
where they get that
love.
from. And so the funny thing you what you just said was I'm not gonna spoil the storm door one because everybody hates that definition, and that's my favorite of them all, actually, arguably. But Amato being blinded by love is a good one. And that's what I like about that.
So what if
Because
he's
it makes
so
him blind. He's blind to everything he's doing, everything he's screwing up, and it's part of his name, like meaning. That's what I love about it. That's why I'm
that
like,
is
dude, the meanings of these
interesting.
people's dude, that's the thing, dude. The meanings of people's names is so awesome sometimes. Like
Cuz
when
that
they
just
think that shit through, it's so cool when you realize it.
no, that literally just made it a lot of things much more clear for me. Because if he's so blind, selfish, or so ambitious that he's overcome by blind love, right? Similar to Ada, right? But in his
Yeah.
own way. But he's smarter, more knowledgeable than Ada, right? At least when it comes to his knowledge on technology. If he's so if he's so ambitious, selfish that he's blind to um his blind love affects leads him to becoming a storm door, essentially the Ōtsutsuki god. That's just a little mini I guess theory that I just came up with right now essentially, but I haven't really tied that all together yet, but essentially that kind of ties a bit into my previous theories as well. So that's definitely pretty interesting.
Yeah, so like if I was gonna say like some of the stuff about Amato, like trying to be Natsuki and stuff, if that is somehow directly involved in him bringing his daughter back, go for it. I'm fine with it. I just like if it's part of the process, sure, it all works to me. As long as my only thing I'm a stickler on is what I think his goal is, his end goal. And I think it has to do with his daughter. But the with the process of getting there, dude, theorize away. I do not care.
So
Like
I
I'm like, as long as you arrive at the same end goal, I'll root for you. Like
I
so like when people
basically
say that, like yeah, you can definitely make the parallels. Honestly, some people theorized Orochimaru originally wanted to just revive his dead parents. That's why he learned Edo Tensei. That's a theory. It wasn't really expanded upon in Naruto, but it's still a theory. And so you could argue it's a similar thing, like considering their parallels.
it's possible, but I kind of came to this conclusion, or at least um it seems this way, right? Because of the fact that Kawaki's dojutsu, right? If he needs Kawaki, right? If he gave Kawaki his found a way to give Kawaki his dojutsu specifically so that he could assist in getting his daughter as a means to get his daughter, then I think that's possible. But then there's another way, right? What if his second way is if what if Kawaki does not want to grant him that wish, right? As a lot of people
Yeah,
are
and that's
theorizing.
why I like the Amado grandfather theory, because not to interrupt you, but if Kawaki's mom is Amado's daughter, that might be why he thinks he'll do it.
Kawaki's mom is a motto stock. Kawaki's mom is motto stock. That's interesting.
Yeah, like
Okay.
if that comes out to be true, then that works. That's why he's like, I don't know, Kawaki might want to bring his mom back.
I like that you brought up the grandfather theory because I actually I don't know if you've seen I made a video, short video, right, introducing the grandfather paradox, right, and resolution to it, right, a
hmm
called a superposition, right. So
hmm
essentially, what what Sasuke, what's the Ōtsutsuki's name, Urashiki and Boruto did by going back in time, or what could possibly be happening now is when they came back, even if they use genjutsu, whenever you go back in time, you still affect the timeline, right? At least in
Yeah,
a
like
lot
the
of other
anime
shows.
literally had that scene of Boruto messing up the timeline with Denki's dad, which is weird because Denki's dad came up with the Thunder Train on his own, but they literally went out of their way to have shit like that.
See, so what if it's possible that when they came back, they created a superposition, right? An alternate timeline that essentially placed, you know, you know, gave way to Amado, Kara's creation, Kawaki's creation, Code's creation, right? What if all those things are a result to this alternate timeline, right? Or the superposition, right? And what if this this superposition essentially what it's done is a lot of people have suggested, and I didn't really give this any mind or thought until like I think last week. Um, what if Kawaki is Amado? You know, but from the past. A lot of people say the future. I think I would probably lean more toward the past, right? Whether you know, and that's just one of my many theories. My main theory when it surrounds or pertains to Amado is him possibly being a clone, right? That of the original Amado, right? Who's lived during the time of the Sage of Six Paths or the Uzumaki, right? Who essentially has died and has effectively found a way since that time to um clone himself, right? To live on the ambitions of the actual motto, right? Essentially the Boruto Dr. Gero, right?
So that'd be interesting. Oh, shit, dude. Amado is actually the clone of the original Amado.
I mean, every other member of Kara is a clone, are they not?
So, well,
Or some sort. I mean,
we don't
Code.
know. They're all
I don't know.
cyborgs. We haven't been. Yeah, we don't know. Honestly, I originally was pondering on the idea if that was the case, because say maybe Code was created too or something like a clone, The problem is Boro and Victor have like dialogue that kind of indicate they were alive during the Fourth Great Shinobi War, and I don't think anybody was doing clones back then. They didn't really imply it that they had clones yet, which makes me think Boro and Victor are regular people.
It's
So at that
possible
point,
that
I
they're
don't know if
regular.
Deepa and Code are Deepa and Code are wild cards. Like I feel like Victor and Boro seem like they're regular people that just became cyborgs. Like ow, Deepa and Code are like they could go either way. Koji's definitely a clone. Delta seems like she was created because Amado literally spawned a new Delta in the Leaf Village, so she was at least created that time. So like they're created, but some of them are like like Kawaki, Code, and Deepa. I feel like you could argue for both. Because I was actually going to say, like, Kawaki could be a clone of Amado too. It does lead to problems in terms of Kawaki's dad, unless he's also a clone of Amado. Which would be hilarious. Dude, I was cracking up when I was originally going to include that in the video. It was an option. I was like, dude, this is hilarious. I can't do this.
Well,
Like,
the superposition, even if well, Kawaki's existence doesn't necessarily mean that Amado can't exist. What if he spawned in the case, creating in a superposition plane, right? Because of the results of Boruto, Sasuke, and Oroshiki going back in the past. This would essentially not only it could lead way to retconning previous Naruto, Boruto content, movies, right? That they could possibly adapt. I go into it, right? Or
yeah.
it could essentially just create a timeline from that point forward, right? Um, a continuation of the previous timeline, but altered, right?
Yeah, I mean, like they can do all that stuff. It's just like they gotta go all in. Like
They definitely got to
on that stuff.
explain. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and that's like honestly, that's the only thing about the time travel stuff I don't like. Is just like they literally will have to spend so much time literally just explaining their new timeline that it's like I don't even know if it's worth it for like some people will love it, a lot of people won't. And
It,
like that's just like they have to go all in if they do it.
it was sort of a goof theory. I sort of mostly lean toward the fact that Amato is possibly a clone, being that he could create clones. Um, and
Yeah,
I
I feel like cloning or him being a straight up grandfather, like stuff like that, to me seems more likely considering how much cloning they've been doing in the story. That I think they're comfortable with revealing people are clones. I don't know if they're fully comfortable with doing time travel yet. Granted, they did it in the anime, but they also did it like as a fun arc. You know what I mean? Not like a major. I mean, you can call it major since Urashiki died, but
so
you get the point. Like,
that's the thing with a lot of like quote Boruto filler, right? A lot of people just consider it filler, right? But
yeah, and
I
like
definitely
they
look
tend to
into.
tie it in a lot, but they haven't mentioned that one. That's the most interesting one. They've never mentioned it again. Not even in the anime.
The time skip.
Yeah, like there's
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
they probably haven't really mentioned some of the other arcs too. Like nobody talks about the freaking dude that Chocho was after in the anime. Like they kind of brushed over that too. But like that like feels like it should have been a big arc that I feel like I'm kind of surprised they haven't nobody's brought it up. Nobody's even like talked about Urashiki. Like they thought Urashiki was that ass, I guess. Like
So a lot of these things that they kind of the filler, right? The quote filler, right? I think it's definitely just to foreshadow what'll happen post time skip, right? I think it's just build up, right?
oh yeah, a lot of it is 100% build up. Like especially the Kawaki anime only stuff. Like they 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 paralleled it with the stray dog for stuff, and they did the outcast. The outcast wolf one I like because it talks about how like the wolf basically sacrificed himself so the whole wouldn't die. And what does Kawaki do? He's worried about Jigen destroying the village, so he wants to leave the village, kind of thing. And then
Right.
he literally does it in the manga later on. He does the exact same thing just for code instead. So like they do that, especially with Kawaki. Like,
And I think that's one
and
of
then
the things I'm probably more. One of the reasons why I kind of stay tuned to the Boruto series is because I mean realistically it does at the moment it's not stacking up against in terms of hype to Naruto, but I try to
no,
look toward
I
like
agree.
its own like it's going its own path, so I try to give it its own look at it as a new series, or look at it as if it's coming from a new franchise, right? Give it that type of
Yeah, I mean, like
approach.
for me at least, like Naruto, just loved Naruto the first time I watched it. That's why I've watched it a bunch of times. And like because of that, like I can't hate Boruto. I will watch every single episode and read every single chapter because of this. Like it doesn't matter no matter how much people call it trash. I'm still gonna like it. But I definitely think Naruto's better as of right now.
I
It's
think
just like there's certain little things like nobody's gonna hit the same way Pain did, for example. It's just because it was already done. Like they
it'll
can definitely introduce new things that hit hard, but if they try to repeat something, it's not gonna hit the same because of that. But it's still good. Like I mean, that's fine. Like
it'll
not worried about
definitely
it.
it'll definitely depend on what they do going forward, next few chapters, because realistically, just like I was starting to fall off of Boruto, myself. I've I've been watching anime 20, 25 plus years, and so
Yeah.
I in terms of like it, it's its own series. The only reason why, or the one of the main reasons why it kind of gravitates my attention, um, or it, I'm gravitated toward it is because it stems from Naruto. Realistically, like
Yeah.
point blank simple, right? Um,
Yeah, like literally, if I just had watched Naruto, if Boruto was invented like 10 years, 20, whatever, I don't remember when I first saw Naruto, probably a good 15 years ago or something. Like, actually, that's cap. I'm only 23. I definitely did not see it when I was 8, but you get the point. Like, if that had been the case, I might not have like gone as into it the same. Definitely not to the same extent, probably.
what are some of your like? I don't even think I've asked you before. But what are like some of your favorite anime? Like, what are your top
This
5 anime of all time?
Yeah, you're asking the wrong dude. It's becoming a meme in the podcast server because
Oh,
I've only seen Naruto and Boruto.
oh no. Yo,
No, yeah, I know.
we
I watched episode 1 of Chainsaw Man yesterday because Free Game was potentially going to have me on the podcast if Melo didn't show up. He ended up showing up, so I was like, all right, I'll watch the episode while I'm on the treadmill, and so that's all I've seen of that. And then I was like, you know what? At this point, everybody's been telling me to watch other ones, so I'm gonna watch the first episode of a bunch of series. Whichever one captures my attention the most, I will finish first.
hey, we'll never fear. The sync zone is here and we won't lead you astray, right? We we know all the best. By we I mean I.
Yeah,
um
yeah, like the only one who runs this channel.
no, I no, I definitely know like if you don't care about like art and animation, um I I could definitely recommend you some solid anime. JJK,
Yeah, I
just some
mostly
of the
just care
newer.
about like is the story like is it just gonna be interesting? I mean, honestly, I'm not that hard to please.
So
So
I'm
like at the end of the day, I'll get into anything. The main thing is getting me to start it. It's like that's just true. Like if I have a friend who's like they want to like watch a show with me, if I start watching it with them, I'm gonna get into it. But like you have to just get me to start it. That's the biggest thing. So that's why I was like, I'll just see whichever one has the best first episode.
Yeah, we do like watch parties and stuff. I've introduced a lot of anime to to just people on Discord. You know, it's there's
Yeah,
a
there was one.
lot.
I joined in for one time. I remember H&L was like, "Dude, come in." I was like, "All right, fine." I don't remember what they were watching though. I vaguely remember what it was about, but it's true. I guess I've seen that show for an episode.
So there's as far as
Um,
like some of the anime I'm watching now, not even including like top five, but some as far as like new gen, there's like Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, which is Gundam's sort of like the Fate Stay series. They basically do um they'll do like different storylines, right? Each unique to its own, each uniquely its own story, right? So it'll be like the Gundam franchise, right? But it'll be like Gundam, this or Gundam that, right? But
uh-huh.
yeah, Gundam, The Witch from Mercury is one of the newer series from Gundam to release, um, early last month. Mob Psycho 100, definitely check that out.
Never heard of that
Hilarious
one actually.
if you like One Punch Man. It's by the same creators, One Punch Man, but uh,
Yeah, I've heard of One Punch Man's funny actually.
One Punch Man,
Somebody was
hype.
yes, sorry.
No, 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 you
Because somebody was like telling me what it was about vaguely, and like that I was like, wait, what? I never knew that. Like apparently he like doesn't like he just so strong he beats everybody in one punch that but like he doesn't. What did they tell me? Somebody gave me the gist of it. I was like, really? That was actually pretty funny.
if you're more of like an animation type of guy, you know, art and animation is gonna grab your attention. You know, Mob Psycho or One Punch Man, solid series to watch. Um,
Mhm.
you know, if you're familiar with the YouTuber Mastar Media, he does a lot of One Punch Man, and animation type of videos. But yeah, One Punch Man for sure. That's a go, right? Mob Psycho, Gundam. Um, there is if we even have like an anime recommendation section on the Discord too. If you just scroll through some of those. Um,
Yeah, yeah, man. Just like
let's
I know a
see.
lot of people tell me. I know free game is yeah, Hunter x Hunter is a big one. Everyone says that if I like Naruto this much, I'm gonna love Hunter x Hunter, and I already know Hisoka is gonna be my favorite character based off what I've been told about him.
It's 100,
So I was like, I probably
Hunter x Hunter is top tier for sure.
yeah, that's why I was like, I should probably like if there's one that like I'm probably gonna because everyone says like if there's something that's gonna be the closest to Naruto, it's probably that, and I was like, all right, that's probably the easiest one to try. I know free game has been telling me Death Note and Full Metal Alchemist, as well as Chainsaw Man, just to watch some of the newer stuff, but
Yeah, Death Note and Full Metal Alchemist are definitely good series. You may get like uh if you're like I said, if you're more like an art and animation guy, you may get like discouraged a bit. But
yeah,
if
because
you
it's not
stick
like
with
that.
it, I'm more of like a story guy myself. But I'm
I'm
all
like,
for
yeah,
art.
like honestly, I care more about the story. Like I love Naruto fights. I think they're cool, but like it you just gotta be interesting in some way at least. Like,
What about
yeah, I want there to be a story. Like whether the fights are cool or not. If it's only cool fights and no story, probably not gonna be that interested in it. So I would say story is more important.
have you gotten a chance to check out Bleach the World Blood arc?
No, dude.
Thousand
I mean, I know like Bleach is like famous, so like it's probably pretty good. But it's almost like I almost like want to meme, but Kimichi by not watching Bleach because
So Bleach to
I don't. That man does not stop talking about Bleach. So I almost feel like I have to meme him by
wait,
not
who?
watching it. I his name's Kamichi in the Cloud Ninja podcast, but
Kamichi. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Kamichi. Yeah, like I feel like he always talks about Bleach, and I was like, I feel like I have to meme him by never watching it.
Yeah.
At some point, I'll probably watch it, but
As far as like top tier like art, animation, and story goes, Bleach is basically I'm gonna tell you now, it's like top of the charts as far as new or not even new, but anime this year. You know,
what's your ones overall. Honestly, like what is it? Regardless of why, what it is,
Bleach
just
is one of my favorite animes. I'm not gonna lie. Hunter. So I'll start from number one. Right, number one, Yu Yu Hakusho. Right,
I heard so many people mention that one before.
Yu Yu Hakusho is number one, and this list does change. So if you may catch me in another video listing more of my top five.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's like completely different.
But Mob Psycho, I'll put it number two. It's crazy because I feel like there's better anime out there. But yeah, it's as far as next gen goes, not Mob Psycho's probably it's got the cake. Let's see, Claymore is another good one. Hunter x Hunter, which is by the same creator as Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, is it the same author? Oh, that explains
Yeah, that
why everybody who likes one seems to like the other.
explains the hypeness, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that's why and it's realistically like I'll probably get rid of it from my number three. I'll get rid of Claymore too. So I'll put yeah, so it'll be Yu Yu Hakusho, Mob Psycho 100. I'll put Bleach in number three. Uh, let's see what other are my favorite. What other anime? Gotta go through my anime list here. I got a lot. All the anime that I like, I just throw them in the anime recommendation section. Because
You've probably seen so many at this
I've seen
point that you're like, I don't
so much anime. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. Samurai Champloo, put that number three.
I think Fruit Game might have been the one who said he really likes that one too.
It's a good series. If you like samurai, it's art is fantastic. Art is fantastic with that series. Kurizuka, if you like vampires and samurai, there you go.
Vampires and samurai.
Vampires and
That's
samurai.
interesting.
Crazy, right? It gets ridiculous in that show. Oh my gosh. And then number five, I'll do Gangsta. Yeah, it's a terrible lineup, but hopefully it introduced you to a few things. As far as like, yeah, Wish for Mercury is pretty good. Bleach is killing it. JJK is killing it.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
Jujutsu
People
Kaisen.
constantly tell me to try. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
One of these days, I'm like, I just need to spend a whole day if I'm not doing anything and just like try a bunch of series. Like the problem is, I spend so much time on my videos that like I'm like, if I don't work on my next video now, I'm gonna be like behind.
Yeah, I get that. I get that totally. Like shoot, I'm putting together I've been putting together videos and deleting it, and I just cannot seem to post a video at the moment. I do work
They
like
just
pretty much
they
work from
just
like
take so long. Yeah.
they do honestly, because and it interferes with my work a little bit. The most time I really have is on the weekend. Like I'll work from like 6 o'clock to like 6 to 8 p.m. At 6 o'clock in the morning.
So like, yeah, so 14 hours.
Pretty much. And then after that, I got school, as a full time student. So,
Yeah,
that,
and yeah, if you're like, because for me, like, I had a ton of time my last semester of school because I wasn't working that much. Um, and so I was like, I was grinding on YouTube videos, no problem. But
oof.
like, yeah, if you're like, it's work and school at the same time for YouTube, you got to be like Barbie editing. He apparently does his videos in an hour. I don't know how the hell
That's
he does,
wild.
but like, yeah, he told me he's like taking an hour. I was like, what? I was like, dude, what? I was like, I don't know. Let me like take a closer look at your videos, like if there's something I'm missing. But it's like, dude, I take forever. Like, I sometimes I do like the course, the video that's literally doing the best lately. It's the one that I did this for. Where I remember one morning I was trying to finish a video before I went to the gym and then like went to work after. And I remember being at like six um what was the math? Yeah, I think I was at like I did like 12, 13, 14, maybe 13 minutes of audio in like 2 hours, which is unheard of for me. That's insanely fast.
That,
And I
yeah.
was like, I don't even know how I did that, but I could never replicate it. I was like, how the hell did I do it? I can't do it. Like, and like this last video, I probably, geez, I don't even know how many hours I spent. I probably spent, I like, I've been getting faster, but like between, like, this isn't even counting like writing out and researching videos. Like, I don't even like think about how long I spent on that stuff. I just spent so long. Like,
Yeah, I'm looking into different ways to editing most proficiently because I have edited a few videos, but I didn't really enjoy the process, and so I'm trying to find software that I actually like. I found a few, but then also just trying to learn a little bit about them, and then also get the time to actually sit down and hash out some action videos that I can appreciate because I can push out some stuff to get my point across. But I want to remain consistent with what I like. That's as far as the Zone Fanfic brand and the
yeah, exactly.
inspiration
You don't
behind
want to
it.
just pump up content. Yeah, I'm like with you on that. Like, I could easily like edit faster and not like do a lot of the part of the reason my videos take so long is because like I will like just go find a panel for like anything I'm talking about,
All
and I will
right.
put in a million goofy edits because I want to, and I just get creative and I get sidetracked looking for something. Like, that's why it takes me so long. But like I could easily do a video in 30 minutes, but like would it be like something I'd be as like happy about? No. Like,
That's a fair
that's
point.
how like I don't know how Baro does this in an hour. So I was like, dude, like,
I think he does like 5 to 10 minute videos. Like I mean,
yeah, I'd have to like I need to like take like watch his like one of his last videos and just take a closer look at the editing. I know he does like a bunch of anime clips in the background. Um, I've never really like taken a close look. I sometimes I do this where I like look at people's editing just to like compare. I haven't done that for Bara though in a while, so I should look and see. I know like Naruto Explain as editors, ABD as editors. Kitamaki actually edits fast too when he needs to.
oh yeah, oh yeah, they.
Um, I don't know, honestly, what it boils down to is like probably just like how much you just want to put in your videos. Like, at the end of the day, I made a thing for myself where I just put a ridiculous amount of shit in my videos that like a 20-minute video is just not going to get done quick. There's probably nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, 20 minutes is definitely, yeah, because you got to do the editing, you got to do the scripting. It's a lot that goes into that. So that's completely understandable. You know.
Yeah, and like I will like change my script all the time. Like, I'll just like see if I notice like something new I want to add or whatever. Like, so like I probably will spend like a full week half the time just like planning out the script, and then I gotta edit it, and I'm like, I do that for several hours.
That's impressive. That's crazy. Wow. All right. So
Yeah, I don't joke when I say like I put a lot of time in my videos. Like, I love doing it. That's why I still do it. But like
that's.
I put in a lot of time. Like,
I mean, I definitely could. I could definitely see it. It's just which is why I try to share your videos whenever I see it. You know, and I'll
no, I
share.
love when people when I see people like do stuff like that. I'm like, dude, you guys are sane. Like,
Yeah, I mean that's what we're here for, right? I mean, as the anime community, I think we have to kind of like, you know, work together to an extent, but it's
yeah,
definitely
so that way like more people just like start watching us. I mean, I love it though, because like honestly, like everybody can watch like everybody realistically. There's no reason like because everybody adds something different to their video. So like, I'm like, dude, everybody can support everyone, dude. We don't gotta be like trying to be against each other.
and some people are really competitive. And it's
Like, I'll get competitive, but like I'm not gonna like try to hurt somebody. Like, in that sense, like I'll promote people that I'm competitive against. I'll just be like, I'm still gonna beat you, but I'll promote you. Like,
hey, there's there you could do that as well. It's very easy to promote and compete at the same time because
yeah, absolutely. Like,
it's
I set my goals. Like, I had to change my goals because of the summer, but like I know I was like I'm keeping an eye on Kitamaki stuff, so I'm like, dude, I want to catch him eventually.
Yeah. So okay, let me ask you. Let me ask you one final question, right? What are your top
Yeah.
5? I try to do this with everyone, right? So this is just something that's pretty much custom to the Sync Zone podcast and something we do here, right? So what are your top 5 favorite anime reviewers?
Um, I mean, they're all going to be Naruto based because that's just what I've always been into. So keep that with a grain of salt. So,
Okay.
um, let's see. I have to think of everyone I watch in total. I'm just gonna start listing up people I know I watch regularly. So I've been watching Swag Kage for a long time. Anime Balls Deep.
Kage.
Um,
Okay. All right.
I mean, this isn't necessarily like ranking the top 5, but like I've been watching Swag Kage for a long time. Anime Balls Deep, Naruto Explained. I used to watch Nux Taku before he kind of changed his content style. Um,
Netstaku? I don't think I've heard of that one.
oh, he's like, it's really more comedy. Um, but like some of his older shit was so funny, dude. I remember he made me cry laughing and some stuff. Like it was like a satirical type thing, but like I loved it. But I don't really watch him anymore because he's like changed his content style.
Did he?
I watch Kitamaki's videos, every
Kidomaki.
now and
Oh.
then. Yeah, I still watch some of his videos. Not as much since I started, like, this is true for like anybody. Once I started doing YouTube, especially on top of work, like I don't watch everybody's video. I used to watch every single Naruto Explain video every single day. I have not done that. I have not done that lately.
Yeah,
Like I
shout
just
out
have
to
not had time.
Kidomaki in Naruto Explains.
Yeah, like you know, like I used to like watch a lot of people's videos, like every single video every single day when they came out. Like I just have not had time. Like I'm too busy doing my own channel, but I still try to watch people's videos because I'm like, I know the drill. I know the drill. Every view, every like counts. So I always like my people's videos. I watch six. I'll watch Seth the Programmer. Let me just look at my freaking YouTube things that I'm memorizing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Um, so this is not. I can't. I don't think I could order them in an order. I have a lot of people I'm subscribed to actually. Um, have you ever heard of Chosen actually?
I have heard of Chosen. I have heard of Chosen.
Yeah,
Yes.
I remember. He was actually the second. No, he's not the second actually. I think what's the order of people I subscribe to, kind of thing. I think Swaikagi was the first one, and
Okay.
then it might have been ABD or Naruto Explained, and I think Chosen was actually after that, to be honest. But
So
I have him.
did you learn Naruto through them before you saw Naruto,
No,
or
dude,
did
I had known about Naruto years and years and years before I ever realized people made YouTube videos about it.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah, like, I didn't even know that like YouTube like for Naruto was a thing until way later. Um, I don't think you can see when you first subscribe to somebody, can you? Is there a way to do that?
I think they can see it, but I don't think you can see it.
Yeah, I was curious. Like, I was curious, like how long I've been watching some people's videos for. It's been a few years anyway, but um, anyway, I've subscribed to T Bright, Bara, NC Hammer. I actually like
Like
some
NC
of his
Hammer,
videos.
Ara. Okay.
I have It's Meek and Mellow on here. Granted, like some people I watch more than others. Um, I think
Ooh.
for me, because people that make me laugh, so like ABD and Kage make me laugh. ABD's editing, I love ABD actually. They make me laugh in a lot of videos.
Hey,
They're
so
definitely in my
so
top 5 for that.
for the record, all those other people are not funny, right? They're not funny at all.
Um, I don't say like they're not funny, but like some
Oh,
people.
oh, I thought you said they're not funny. Oh, go ahead,
No,
go
no,
ahead.
no. And I'm not gonna say that like
Oh,
Chosen isn't funny. Chosen might be a hilarious dude, but I don't think he puts as much humor into his videos as ABD does. Like, like that's just reality. Like
ABD is pretty
trying to make
funny.
me laugh. Yeah, like they make me laugh. So like they're definitely my top 5. Swaikage makes me laugh a decent amount too, in some of his videos at least. I'll put him in here. He's like an OG for me. I love Naruto Explained because of like, um, I don't necessarily care as much for like other people's theories that he does a lot of videos for, but I just like when he's super consistent. Like he puts a lot of work, and so I like when he reviews like the novels, his chapter reviews, or does his own breakdowns. Just because I can tell like he likes you can tell like how much like he cares about the series kind of thing.
Yeah, he definitely
Like
puts
aside
work
from that,
into his videos. I definitely gotta agree with that.
I like that. Like and he'll like
He
I don't
has a
necessarily
passion for
care
it.
about other people's theories as much, but like I like the fact that like he goes and he like works with it and like tries to like make a video about it. Like I think it's cool. Like so I like Naruto Explain. I've watched more videos from him than anybody else because he posts a million. So it's not that hard. You only have to watch 1 week of Naruto Explain and you already beat like everybody. Like
That's
um
yeah.
yeah, so I think Naruto Explain, ABD, Swaikage, um are probably my top 3. Um, I do like Six's videos a lot of times. I like the Cloud podcast because that's unique because it's podcast style, it's just long form content. But I actually watch that more than I watch like Bara's videos now, for example. I just listen to him on the podcast. Like same with Mello. Like I really just watch the podcast for all of them now.
Yeah,
Um
yeah. They've definitely got a good thing going as far as like the Cloud Ninja podcast. I
yeah.
gotta agree with that.
I like how we have there's so many people in the Discord too, like that talk. Like the other thing I love about them is like um I feel like they have a good community, honestly. Like I think they have a good community, I feel like.
Yeah, yeah. What do you
T-Bry is actually pretty funny too, actually.
T
T-Bry
T
I want to shout this video. One of my dude, this video it's probably not even actually that funny, but I remember dying laughing. Was the video was why Orochimaru's outfit.
Okay.
And please, anybody you have watching, they should check out T Bry's video. This has got to be like pretty old by now about like how Orochimaru picked out his outfit.
Yeah, you gotta share that in the Discord so we could see
Let
that.
me try to find it because I haven't watched it in a long time, but I remember it making me laugh. I loved it. All
You
right,
said
T
it's called
Bry.
why Orochimaru's outfit is
Let me see. I'm just searching for it to see what it's called. The mystery of Orochimaru's outfit.
oh.
Um, I'll put it in the or I don't. It's meant to be like a funny video, like not like actually serious. Where should I put it? Just in general.
You could put in like so the YouTube is like the promo
Oh,
section.
okay, here.
Toss it in that bad boy. ATG was going on, man. All silent, just hopped in the chat.
Yeah, I remember this video. It was pretty funny when he was like, he was offering some theories for how he came up with it. It's some of them, like it's like you can tell he was intentionally just like being goofy, but
Yeah, I love videos like this because it shows cause I mostly do like theory videos, right? Um now I do put work into my videos and my theories and I have passion for it and all that good stuff. But like videos like this, like just to kind of get the shift the community's perspective, make them think about it, think about certain things from like
it's
a
so interesting while being like so funny at the same time. Like I love this video because it's like it's such a stupid thing, but it's kind of interesting. Like, why does he dress like that? Like,
I mean,
I like
you could most people would assume it's because of the times, but I mean,
yeah, like, nobody really thought into it. Like it's just kind of funny though. It's kind of funny though because the grass ninja that he has circled like has the same outfit. And so like it's just funny. Like I don't want to spoil it. I want people to watch the video, but like the stuff he says is pretty funny. Like um, but yeah, I sorry. Yeah, I like T Bride's videos actually. I wa- I don't. I usually just watch. I mean, he doesn't make as much Naruto videos anymore. I don't know. I honestly like at the end of the day, I usually only watch people's Naruto videos. Like until I get involved in other series, it doesn't make sense for me to watch the videos on it because I'm just not going to get anything.
Yo, you gotta join us for some watch parties some days. I'm usually off on like the weekends and stuff for the most part. Like if I'm not streaming or whatever or posting videos, I'm just like chilling in Discord watching anime. You know,
Yeah,
that's in a I'm mostly into like sci-fi type of anime, science or weird type of anime, but then I also I'm vampire anime. I have a variety of different anime that I like really. But yeah, some if it's not me, it's somebody that's in here, you know.
yeah.
Um
I know. I know. Like I notice. Sometimes that like I don't. I have it like set so that I'm not like getting notifications. But if I go into Discord, I can see when people say they're doing a watch party. I'm just usually doing stuff. Like I'm just usually like I pop in the chat like while I'm doing stuff. Granted, it distracts me sometimes, but like that's kind of like what I do. That's why I usually just use the chat for Discord because of that.
oh,
And
ATG
everyone will be
says
like,
he watches your
get in
videos.
VC to debate, man. I'm like, dude, I don't have time. Like,
You said what was that?
I said, it's funny when people be like, get in VC to debate, man. I'm like, I don't have time, bro.
Yo, I see them sometimes like ask I think I even asked like if
I
you're
remember
gonna
one
debate
time,
someone.
yeah, no, one time I remember Night Flame was just like begging me to get in there. I was
That's
like,
what it
why do you want to debate
was.
me so bad?
That's what it was. Yeah. He was trying to
He
debate you
wanted to
on
debate
something.
everyone though.
Yeah, that's true. Hey,
I was like, dude, like I know, like, dude, you don't you like. I was like, no, I was like, dude, it's totally fine if you love debating, but I already know like that's why you want to do it. You're not actually like trying to like have a discussion about some particular topic because you're over here just throwing out debate topics left and right. Like you're literally just trying to like debate somebody. I was like, I don't care.
I don't know what type of debater you are, but I know for a lot of the Discord community, their debate style, especially like I don't know six, um, it seems like they go for more of the approach to win rather than to logically come to a mutual conclusion, which is
Yeah, and
my
so like
understanding. That's what a
for me,
debate is, but
yeah, and like for me, like if I'm like here, like I say, like, all right, we're gonna debate to win. I'll go and do that, but like I don't really for a lot of the discussions, like I'm not really interested. I'm not really trying to do that. Like I'm literally just like that's why like when I debate people, like I'll literally be like, huh, that's a good point. Like I'll literally say shit because I'm like I'm not trying to beat you. I'm trying to ask like I'll ask you a question that's not necessarily to like trick you. I'm literally asking you a question to
yeah,
like
that's basically
to
why I
get
don't
your
debate.
perspective, like and like to see, and then like now I might be planning to counter it for the sake of discussion, but it's not necessarily like ill intent. It's like I am also like
Basically, yeah. Like, I mean, a lot of the, especially when it pertains to Discord, like they'll use debates like gaslighting, arguing, cussing your ass out, you know, just to
dude, I
like
remember
win the
dude,
argument.
shout out to Juju, but Juju did that a lot with people. It would be pretty funny sometimes,
Oh
but
no.
like um yeah, I remember like sometimes I'd be like, dude, all right, like I think you're I think you've done enough. Like to whoever's it would be pretty funny though.
Yeah,
I haven't talked to Juju in a while, but
I
shout out
w-
to Juju.
what would be interesting is to see a debate between Juju and Six. See that live, you know. We already seen the
I thought
Mellow
they
and
did
Six
before.
debate.
I think they did in private, but like I think they debated before.
Uh
I don't think they like had it on YouTube or anything though.
See, that would be big, you know. That would get a lot of attention. But I don't know. A lot of YouTubers, they're very nitpicky about live debates unless they, take the same approach, the approach to win, rather than to
Yeah,
try to
like
come to
if
a
they want to do it live, that's what they want to do. I'm like, if somebody wants to like debate me, I'm like gonna be honest, like I'm usually just like I'm fine with discussing it, but like I don't really want to do the style where it's like you get interrupted in you're really just trying to like shut the person up and win and move on. Or like sometimes like I've watched a few debates when they try to like just move on from something, and I'm like, no, we haven't established this.
Have
Like, what does this
you
matter? We'll just move on. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm like, I
exactly?
want to just like, I'm like, that's why I'm like, I don't really like want to do that. I'm like, I'll like go back and forth with you, but like, I don't want to be interrupted a single fucking time, or I'm gonna start getting pissed, and I'm
It,
gonna like start yelling at you and like
and
shit.
that's
I'm
what
gonna be like,
happens.
I'm like, and I'm not trying to like make us hate each other because I think you're a dick on debates. Like,
No,
so
that's
like,
what
I'd rather just
happens.
avoid it.
9 times out of
That's
10.
what I'm saying. Like, I'll get heated even in the freaking chat debates, dude. Like, if I'm like getting into it, I'm like, so I do not want to like do this live. Like,
Most for the most part, that's why like I don't really debate because like if
yeah,
someone
same.
legit
That's
kind of like pissed me off for doing some stuff like that, I probably would just leave. You know, I'd be like, all right, well we're done here, and that would be the end of that would be the end of the debate. You know, I
yeah,
really don't have the
exactly. I'm
time to
like,
get frustrated over stuff like this.
and that's the thing. It ends up being a waste of time. I'm like, dude, like there's certain people. I'm like, or for example, I'm gonna use Udi as an example. He likes to do like the troll debates where he like takes a stupid take, but he debates his way through it. I'm fine with doing a regular debate like that because it's fun. It's like, all right, like I know this guy's gonna like we're trying to just like argue this stupid topic, or even if it's both sides are stupid, or like what I remember I saw Six and Swag did this thing where it was like random, like you just got a random generator for like what side you were gonna pick, and you had to like debate for it. That's like fun, but like outside of those contexts, I feel like you're just gonna get heated.
You saw the Seth the programmer and Naruto Explains debate, right?
Yeah, then that's a good example of like that was a long time ago. I remember I finally saw that one point where like I remember hearing like Seth kind of like grew to hate this persona he had to be, but like that's what he had to do. Like his whole thing was he was supposed to slam people in debates. So like while Naruto Explain was being like super like calm and chill and shit, Seth was kind of being a dick during it because that was like what he had to do for his channel.
Pretty much, yeah. For it
And like
to
that would piss
survive,
me
I
off.
guess,
Like
right?
I would have been like mellow on it, but like there would have been like a point where I've been like, bruh, shut up. Like
Pretty much, but he played it pretty professionally. Like he did.
and he
If he went
wasn't
out of
like
character, it might
overdoing it,
have
but
not went well with his fan base. But I understand why he kind of took they both took their approaches. It's understandable.
yeah. And so like that's why I'm like I don't really want to. And that's the other thing is I don't want people like if I debate somebody and I win, then they're just gonna keep asking me to debate. And I'm like I don't really want to do that. Like I don't want to make it like I'll do versus battle on my channel, and I don't mind occasionally like debating somebody, but like I don't want to make it like the entire channel is like debate.
Yeah, I might have a debate on here sometime soon. We'll see. Um,
With you in it, or like just
it-
hosting it.
I don't know if I'll be in it, but there'll probably be some debate. Sometime soon. For you you
Yeah,
viewers out there that are still watching, appreciate you guys for still watching. Um, the I would like to say I we greatly appreciated your company, Kamui.
hell yeah,
We
dude.
are I think we've been going at this almost a little over
Yeah,
two
I know.
hours
We've been
now.
talking for way longer than I expected. Thank God I don't have to work tomorrow.
Yeah, and I hope that same thing applies to me. Like I'm thinking about calling in if I ever get that option, but for the most part, yeah, I do gotta wake up pretty early. And
Yeah, no,
like I
you're
said.
good. Yeah, no, I didn't even realize how late we were talking for a while here.
No, I just looked at the time and I was like, oh, okay, well, we've been talking for a minute. But hey, we definitely gotta do this more often.
Yeah,
Or
for
do
sure.
this again at the very least. Um, I think we had some like solid theories and discussion.
Yeah, no, I'm always down to talk to people as long as I'm not doing something.
Oh yeah,
You're
oh yeah.
lucky. I had my video done this morning, so I didn't have to work on it.
Hey, that's why we had to catch you at the right time.
Yeah.
heck yeah, no, for sure. Gotta do this again. Um, for you travelers out there, if you are not subscribed to Kamui, um, his channel will be linked below. So if you're not subscribed, please check out his content. He does make quality content. I think he has some more videos planned. What would you say, Friday?
I'm not gonna set in stone what day, but
Okay, okay.
my goal is Friday. My goal is Friday.
All right. Well,
For a minute.
nevertheless, stay tuned. Subscribe to Kamui today, or
Yeah, everybody just hit the notification bell on my channel and on Zone's channel, and then you don't have to worry about when you'll get the notification.
that's right, right. Well, hey, on that note, I definitely appreciate you stopping by, Kamui, on the Sing Zone podcast, and just chatting with us.
For
Good to have
sure,
you
dude.
on. I think that pretty much wraps it up for this one.
Alrighty.
I'm about to get ready to go to bed pretty soon. So
I need to go to bed soon too, so my sleep schedule doesn't get any worse than it already is.
oh yeah, man, I swear I sleep very my schedule's bad as it is. I probably sleep about 4 hours. I need to improve and get better because
Damn.
yeah, it's terrible.
Damn, dude. Like I'm over here, like I usually try to get 9 hours of sleep if I can because I'm just like do way better in the gym if I do. And so I'm always like, dude, how can I get 9 hours of sleep?
It
Not
definitely
always
kills the
possible,
games.
but yeah, dude. Sleeping 4 hours, dude. Oh my god. I used to do 6 hours a night, back in the day, and I was like, how the hell did I do that shit? Like,
I'm saying, yeah, it gets crazy, but after a while you get used to it. I think my body's just kind of used to it at this point.
yeah, it's probably true because like I was pretty used to 6 for a while.
Well,
Anyway, I'll let you get your 4 hours of sleep.
I will do that. Thank you, travelers, for stopping by. Rain, the cream, ATG, you others. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. And I will see you next time, travelers.
Bye-bye.
Eyes on fish, I all my sleepless nights, feel it closing in. No holding back, it's time, wrong in my right mind. Surely I'm convinced. Oh, we've been here before. I'm our soul, numbers fit up my nose. Half dead and asleep, I messed up to dreams. Will you be ready when the darkness comes?